We are in a pine forest. There's a stream flowing. It's late spring, so the water is higher than it normally is, but not overflowing quite yet, or had and has receded. And we see a little raccoon scurrying down to the water. He's got a root or a nut or something that he's going to go wash in the water. And he takes care of that. He's nibbling. And we see a pair of feet step behind this little critter. And it kind of just like turns around, but isn't really frightened the way it might be of a person. Because as we pan up, we see Wrath. And Wrath is standing there in her typical tight-fitted black suit with her half mask on. And it's in the grin side of it. She reaches her hand out and berries appear in it. And the little raccoon comes over and starts chewing on the berries, nibbling them. And she grins with a sinister slant to it. And she says, "Yes, I think you'll do just fine." And she reaches behind its ear to kind of scritch it. And it doesn't seem bothered by this at first, but then it starts to shudder. And its eyes, its pupils, have this light that starts to grow in them. And they go completely black except for this emberish light. She stands up and some smoke sort of wafts up past her face as she just smiles. Behind her, two dark shapes in the forest also are coming forward, and they have this smoke sort of trailing off their form. And you just hear struggling and like... And she says, "Go have fun for me."
The world is full of wonders.
Magic is hidden in small moments.
And monsters could be hiding just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. I'm your keeper Natalie. I also play Aidan Brightwood and a whole bunch of other characters in our game of Monster of the Week. I'm here joined by my lovely players. Let's start with Bethany Miller.
Hi, I'm Bethany. I'm a mundane. More importantly, my favorite flavor of ice cream is strawberry.
Felicity Starnbrook.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I play Felicity Starnbrook. I am the Sophie of the group. She has a necklace that she wears every day that was a Christmas present from her mom.
Raven Eugenia.
hello, I'm Brittany. I play Raven. She is the flake of the group, and she's very lightly afraid of aquariums. Only a little bit.
Damien Edgecrest.
The role of director Damien Edgecrest will be played by myself, Anders. Damien is an envy demon. He is green and goopy and pretty goofy.
We're also joined by Agent Lonnie Whitaker.
Hey everyone, my name is Emery. I play Agent Lonnie Whitaker, agent, old man, and #1 fan of Cardi B's hit new single, WAP.
We're also joined by our friend Aday, who plays Hugo Rashad, who is our initiate, and he will be joining us in a little bit on the call.
And his fun fact is that he's the #2 fan of Cardi B's hit new single.
Yes.
Canon now.
Edit insert Aday/Hugo's signature deep sigh. Last time, you guys all had a bit of a break. Our hunters got to rest and regroup after their first big adventure into the world of the supernatural, where they dealt with a kitsune that had attacked a few people in the town Autumn Falls. Now that that problem has been dealt with, had to figure out what they were going to do next. There was a lot of secrets and facts about the world that they hadn't known before, or hadn't known the depth of, or were in a position to not share it, and now find themselves in one of those situations. So we had Damien taken to the Eastie Agency, where Agent Whitaker works. We had Bethany, Felicity, and Raven visit and talk to Aidan, who is their divine friend. And Hugo had them all over to sort of talk about keeping things a secret. The word about the supernatural world can't get out or it will be a problem. In general, but very specifically for Hugo, because his sect had asked him to tie up loose ends in a very vague and slightly threatening sort of way. Does anyone have a start of mystery move that they would like to do right off the bat?
Felicity does.
What you got?
Premonitions. Start of each mystery, roll weird. On a 10 plus, you get a detailed vision. 7 or 9, you get a clouded vision. And then below that, I guess I get no vision. So, 9. So I get clouded images of something bad that is yet to happen. Mark experience if I stop it.
We'll get to that. Why don't we pick up with Damien and Lonnie? You guys left the EC agency headquarters in Portland and are headed back to Autumn Falls. What's your next move, Lonnie?
So Lonnie's in the mind of, well, he does not realize that Hugo has everyone sworn to secrecy, and he's got to go tie up all the loose ends back at Autumn Falls, make sure everyone who heard about everything is staying silent, or at least see where they are, see what's happening there. He needs to recruit Raven Eugenia officially into the Eastie organization. That is his current goal.
Okay. Damien, I can already tell based on what you're doing in the video. This is going to be good.
The next time Lonnie sort of glances over to make a right turn, he notices that Damien has put a sleep mask on so that he can't see anything. Agent Lonnie, once we get to our location, you and I are going to need to have a one-on-one chat. It is important to the growth of my own agency as well as your position in your agency.
Damien, we've got like about 4 hours of driving in front of us. We could have a conversation at any point during those 4 hours.
Under normal circumstances, you'd be absolutely right. Unfortunately, I don't trust this van.
Is that all?
For now.
All right. I get the aux cord.
What are your mission objectives? And how can the Edgecrest agency be of service?
I do have to remind you, you are still working for the Eastie agency. Like I cannot stress this enough. You are working for us.
Of course, that was part of my goal all along.
Regardless of what your intentions are, you are working for us, so our goals are the same right now.
That's why I'm asking. It's very important for me to know what you're going to do so that I can do the same things.
Of course. Of course. Well, Agent Edgecrest, we are returning to Autumn Falls. We are going to make sure that all of the witnesses from Autumn Falls who saw the Kitsune attack are not speaking about it and have been properly talked to on the whole thing. And we're also recruiting Miss Eugenia into the Eastie agency.
That's perfect. I want to do all of those things.
That's good.
I'll do whatever I can to assist.
This is your first big mission. How do you feel?
I'm excited. When you called me Agent Edgecrest, that meant a lot.
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
You can tell how excited he is by the way he's lying there, nearly motionless, with the eye mask on.
Oh,
You have
man.
landed yourself quite the inscrutable carpool companion.
I know. Well, at least he's not trying to manipulate me into, I don't know, pulling the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gotta take the positives where they come.
I will say that as you're fiddling with the radio, you turn on your car's stereo and it's on a local news channel. And what you catch is the tail end of a report saying, the local firefighter teams are working to contain a small brush fire that broke out. Scientists are working with the local meteorologists to determine the cause, and the park rangers don't suspect any foul play. We'll keep you abreast of the situation in case any homes are put in danger by the spread of the fire.
Now, when you say a local report, is it closer to Autumn Falls or is it closer to the Eastie agency that we're leaving? Or are the two just kind of equidistant from this forest?
Kind of equidistant. I mean, it's in one of the national parks, basically.
Gotcha.
So it's not really right next to Autumn Falls, but you do hear that as you then switch over to your iPod.
He has a little iPod shuffle.
Nice.
Are we going to help out with that fire? I really want to light another fire now. But we would use it as one of those fires you light to stop a rushing forest fire.
That is actually the job of firefighters, Damien.
Please do not describe them to me.
Do you want me to describe firefighters?
No, please don't.
Oh, I see.
I need to stay focused on being an agent, and that'll be too distracting.
That's right. Our job has to do with containing threats we don't understand, not threats we do understand.
Excellent. Those sound much more interesting.
They certainly are, usually.
So we leave you guys as you pull onto the interstate and head north towards Autumn Falls. Do we want to pick up in Hugo's apartment, or do we want to say that conversation wrapped and we're now a couple days later?
Yeah, let's all start off at the apartment.
We had just had the very awkward interaction between Raven and Bethany in the hallway, and they had come back.
That's right.
Yeah, they had come back as Aidan was sort of showing Felicity this old scroll that Hugo had laid out that depicted a very rudimentary and simplified version of how the magical world is metaphysically structured. But Hugo, you had finished your ritual implying that you really needed everyone to just be quiet about what was going on. Was there anything else you wanted to do to wrap that up, or more to add?
Thankfully, he didn't even have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It all went a lot better than expected.
Bethany grabs her keys. She's like, I really should be going. I have to go pick some stuff up from, I'm going to pick a store really fast. I know we came up with these together, but I forgot them all. Yeah, I got to pick up just a screen replacement for my sister's phone, and she holds up like a really cracked iPhone. I'm going to be heading to the mall. And she looks kind of around at you, Hugo, and Aidan. Would you like me to pick anything up for your really boring houses while I'm there?
Aidan looks at Hugo first, then back at Bethany, fiddles with the end of her scarf a little bit. Well, if you're going to do that, shouldn't we come with you?
Yeah, that's probably a good call, considering I don't know if you're more of like a cranberry scented candle kind of gal or more of like a hibiscus scent. I didn't really want to make that assumption for you because that can completely change the way your house feels when you walk in.
Candles. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't have any of that. I am kind of tired of sitting around the apartment pretending to be hurt.
Just say there was a divine intervention or something.
I can tag along in case anyone, stops to ask you how you're doing. Everyone thinks I've been coming to take care of you at home and check in on you, so it makes sense if we were there together.
All right, I'm going to get a jacket or something. I'll be right back. And so she'll walk out, go over to next door to get changed for actually being in public.
Hugo, do you want to come along? You also have to pick some stuff out, and I can't really decode whether you're more of like a sea breeze kind of man or more of like a clean sheets kind of guy. It's kind of difficult to pick you apart that well.
Personally, I'm more of a campfire kind of guy, but I don't know much about shopping, so I could use the help.
Amazing.
It'll be fun.
Oh, Felicity, do you happen to have any more rocks?
I can get some. Definitely.
Okay.
And Bethany, you're my ride, so I guess I'm going too.
And also, you've been really nice to everyone, and I think that it would be really nice for you to come on this trip with us, Felicity.
Sweet. Hopefully they have some really cool rocks. And we can grab some more for you, Hugo.
Just, maybe keep Ghosty and Tom, on the down low while we're there.
Oh, they tuck into my jacket when we're out.
Okay, cool. I figured, just wanted to mention it. Wanna keep this kind of stuff under wraps.
Mm-hmm. Been doing it my whole life.
I would assume that we cut to just all driving in the mall.
Aidan can probably ride in my car since I drove there too. And then Hugo can either ride with either of us or take his bike if he's more comfortable with that.
He's taking his bike.
Yeah, whatever he buys, we can put in the cars.
Hugo, please put your bike on the back. We're going in busier streets, and I don't want you getting completely spaghettied by any sort of car.
You do have a point.
Please.
And
I know.
Put it on the top of the car.
I tie it down to make sure it's not going to, wiggle out. I would feel really bad if I ended up mangling Hugo's bike.
Just pictured you not tying it down and then stopping real hard at a red light and the bike just crashes down onto your windshield and in front of the car. Oops, sorry, Hugo.
Fortunately, driving is a thing any normal person can do, so there's no mechanic for it.
They didn't plan for the gays, did they?
They didn't plan for mall shopping trips, but we're all living vicariously through this game right now because we all really want to go to the mall and get drinks and hang out.
I do like that. There's a world like everyone's constantly in danger, and we're like, mall trip!
Mm-hmm. So you guys are all pile into the cars. When Aidan joins you, Raven, she's got her jeans that are patched to heck. There's just patches all over them, all different colors. They're kind of color adjacent so that they mostly all cohege. And then besides that, she's just got like her gray hoodie or something on. But she was like, yeah, I figured I'd wear the lucky pair, you know. Maybe I'll find something good there. So she hops in your car. She says to you on the way, and I just want to do a quick little scene. Are you and Bethany, are you guys okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay. I don't know if you remember me talking a long time ago about that best friend I had, and then we had a huge falling out and like hated each other and stuff. That's her.
Okay.
So, but I think we're okay right now. We talked about it a little bit. At the very least, we are maybe not even acquaintances. We're civil, and it's good.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, silver lining, right? Kind of have this bridge that's rebuilt a little bit.
Yeah, you could say that. Very, very slowly and very cautiously. But yeah, it's more like there was a bridge and then it was burned down, and now we're like clearing the wreckage away. I don't know if we're quite on rebuilding yet, but it's no longer on fire. So that's
awesome.
Cool. Raven says all of this while like staring straight ahead. She's not turning to look at it.
Yeah.
She's kind of squeezing the steering wheel a little bit. Got a little sweaty palms.
You see out of the corner of your eye, Aidan is kind of like smirking a little bit. She deals with people, and so like she has seen this sort of response before. And so you guys, do we want to have a scene with the other three in the car?
I would love to just cut to a scene of Bethany ranting about the entire situation.
Okay.
Really, really hard. And I feel like every attempt I make, it's just always like dredging up the past again. And I'm doing my very best. And I get so much shit from all my sisters about it. They're like, Bethany, you're too dramatic. And I almost hit a person. I swerved the car. Too much, Bethany. And I'm doing my best. My mom says, maybe tone it down, give it time. But I've given it time. I've given it like how many years? Right, Hugo? You're on my side, right, Hugo?
Yeah, right. Yep.
I think Hugo is in the front seat doing the ghost brake with his leg.
Hugo is in the front
gripping the side.
Gripping the side.
Yeah.
In the back of his head, he's thinking, should have just taken the bike. Should have just taken the bike.
Yep. Felicity, I assume you're just sort of pleasantly sitting in the back seat as Ghosty and Tom are bounced around on the seats.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing I was doing before, where I'm in the middle seat and I'm kind of up leading on the front too, like peeking through, like, oh yeah, no, yeah, yep. And
occasionally gets thrown around as she swerves.
But it's just like
totally agree.
Whipped back as they take another extreme turn. You guys all eventually drive up to the Summers Crest Mall.
Can I just interject with a very brief scene, since we've got two driving scenes? Can I put it in one?
Yeah. Let's
Lonnie
add the third.
And Damien driving scene. Lonnie is like, something has clearly occurred to him. He's like gripping the steering wheel a little tighter than usual, and he's like looking at Damien and looking back at the road and looking back at Damien, and there's clearly something really pressing on his mind. And he eventually says, "You are a shape-shifting demon. How the hell are we gonna find your suit color?"
I mean, I'll match whatever suit color there is.
Can you promise me that? Because if you come in there with a pastel pink suit and you have, your like sort of a pasty skin tone, it's gonna tear everything apart.
We'll just scroll through the internet until you find someone that would look good in that suit. It's not that hard.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I mean, you know where you could get Damien a suit.
Do we want to start off brand new agents with the special suits?
You'd have done that back at the agency.
Right. I'm thinking we get a trial suit for the up-and-coming agent.
You have to figure out his cut and his style of suit, and then once that's all settled in like a normal tailor shop, then you bring that back to
Exactly.
the agency and you have their person sort of look it over. At this point, you've made it. You're pretty close to Autumn Falls. Are you just going to take care of this business before you reach out to anybody?
I think as soon as he gets a chance, Lonnie he's going to text Bethany saying, hey, when's the next time I can talk to you and everyone who was involved with the situation, and just send that.
I'll say that you get that text as you're like getting out of your car.
Before I get out of my car, I do that thing where I stop the car and I go, it's fine, deep breaths. And I look at Hugo and Felicity, I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over her, it's not a big deal. We're fine, we're good. I got a super important text message to answer anyway. And I see it's Lonnie. And I text, we at the mall, and I take like a quick selfie with everyone.
So you see a pristine Bethany, a smiling and peppy looking Felicity, and Hugo, who looks like he's been through something even more harrowing than the Kitsune attack.
It's a little pale.
Yeah. A little green around the gills.
Fear in his eyes.
I feel like Felicity is posing with Ghosty, but like Ghosty's not there. So she's
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it. So, our quote-unquote teens, even though no one is a teen, arrive at the mall. You guys park. The Summers Crest Mall is in Autumn Falls, but it's like right on the edge between Autumn Falls and Vernal Springs. And in recent years, there have been a lot of fancier places that have sort of moved into the mall. And so it's a point of contention where like people are worried Vernal Springs is going to steal our mall. They're making it too fancy. Vernal Springs, what a classic move. They're out there gentrifying. So when you guys go in, where do you want to go first?
Everyone refer to your cool maps.
I
we sent
literally
you-
have mine pulled up right now.
Yeah.
We sent you a map. And again, there are other stores, but we didn't want to like overpopulate the mall. So
There's already so much in each store.
So I'm wondering, what is miscellany?
So Miscellany is a bookstore and coffee shop, and it has like a thrift store section as well. Kind of a multi-purpose little spot. It's definitely a business that's been part of like this center for a lot longer than some of the newer places.
I think
Felicity-
Raven wants to go get a pretzel. Like, she's at the mall, she's kind of hungry, and if no one has immediately decided where we're going, she's just like, I'm gonna go get a pretzel, and it's over next to the tea place. If anyone wants to join me, that's where I'm going first. We can go shopping after. I'm starving.
Aidan is fine to go wherever you want to go. She's not hungry, but she's like, I'll try a pretzel.
You have to try the tea though. The pretzels are good. They're a snack, but if you don't eat food, it's fine. But you have to try the tea.
Yeah, I like trying things.
I just need you guys to know it. I looked at this map for a solid like 30 seconds and kept thinking it said basket and casket.
I wish.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
The container store, every kind of container. That'd be another store that exists.
Sure.
A little
It's an
further off.
It's an offshoot in a separate building.
It's a funeral home, but it's trendy.
Yeah. It's a plumbing / mortuary called Gasket and Casket.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you guys want to get snacks, quote unquote, first, you'll want to head to the Citrine Kumquat, which is a sort of froyo place next to Bubble Trouble, which serves tea and other like salty treats and things. The mall is set up in one of those weird K shapes, so there are different offshoots. It's not just like a long rectangle. And so basically the map you guys have is just like one of the offshoots. Nobody ever does the whole mall in a day. There's just too much of it. So you kind of just
Yeah.
pick your wing and then go to there.
I think Felicity's gonna go to the citrine kumquat. She's
Okay.
feeling some froyo.
Bethany's kind of one of those people where, like, she likes the atmosphere of the mall, but when she goes, she's like on a mission. Get this stuff and get out. Like, it's too crazy in here. Trying
Okay.
to soak it up, and she's like, yeah, we can all get froyo, but she's like, I need to leave.
So who's getting tea? Who's getting froyo?
Raven's
Who's getting
definitely getting tea.
Felicity's getting
All right.
froyo.
We'll do tea and then we'll get to the ice cream. So when Raven, you go over to Bubble Trouble, our lovely bubble tea hut.
Sorry, I have such a connection to all the stupid characters we made.
all the
Okay,
names
great.
and characters
I'm, like,
that
so
Claire and I
excited.
cooked up. We spent, how long was it? Like an hour or two developing a mall for a role-playing game. It was
For like 182 episodes.
I'm so in love with it though. It was so much fun. So you wait in line. There's a young woman there. She's of Japanese descent, and her hair is sort of done up in like a side pony, and there are like bits of pink and purple that are like dyed amongst the rest of it that's black. She's got a little pink, or I guess it would be, let's see, citrine, so probably like yellow or orange, one of those like visor hats that's just open on top. Her name is Sydney. She is your age, Raven.
Okay.
You guys may have gone to high school together, so you like kind of know her, and especially if you go get tea a lot. And she says, "Welcome to Bubble Trouble. What can I get you?" "Oh, hi, Raven. How's it going?"
Going good. How are you?
"What can I get you?"
Well, I will get my usual. I'm trying to figure out what Raven would usually get.
She strikes me as a tarot kind of girl.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty accurate. Yeah, so she'll get like one of the frozen ones, the taro like smoothie with the
slush.
boba. Yeah, the slush. And then she's gonna like gesture to Aidan and be like, "My friend has never had bubble tea before. What would you suggest as like the perfect first time tea?"
Yeah, and Aidan kind of shyly is just like, "Hey." And Sydney says, "Oh, you never had it? Well, let's see. We have Triple Trouble. It's 3 fruit teas blended. That's pretty good. That's like our signature. We have just the Double Trouble, but like nobody gets that anymore because Triple Trouble's way better." She gives like a whole spiel. Basically, just suggests like, "Oh, are you more of like a fruity person, or like do you want something caffeinated?" She like, it's doing the whole like sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And Aidan just kind of looks a little lost at you.
The fruit one?
Yeah, the fruit one.
Yeah, get her a Triple Trouble.
All right.
And Raven will like hand over the card and be like, "There, it's together. I'm paying. Don't worry about it."
And Sydney gives you like a little wink. She's like, "Coming right up." And so she'll go back and give her order slip to the guys working back there. Felicity, were you getting tea too?
Nah, I'm getting froyo.
Okay. We'll pick up orders and you guys can all sit and chat or something afterwards. But you go over.
We could walk around once we get our stuff. Bethany's looking real antsy that we're taking a long time getting snacks. I feel like we can get our food and then start walking around.
Yeah, and Aidan is like, "Yeah, I guess she like really wants to fix her sister's phone. I mean, that's nice." Now that you've told Aidan like the thing that's going on between you two, you notice that she's been like slipping in little things to try and like ease your mood about it. Like, "Oh, see, she like held the door for you." Like,
Raven's like, "I know, it's fine. We're fine. This is normal. Be normal."
Tonic wingman to like try to get friends back to being friends.
Yeah, and Aidan is just like, okay. Sorry.
I believe Raven's not bothered by it. She's just like, "I know, she's being nice. It's cool.
Yeah.
We're fine." She just knows Bethany's a go-getter and knows it's going to drive her crazy if we sit and take our time. They used to go to the mall together all the time when they were younger. She knows what she's like at the mall.
That's true.
Bethany has she does like a shopping list that's really detailed. It's like, my mom wants me to pick up new sheets for like new linens. They got to be this thread count, this thing. We don't dawdle in the mall.
She has an order by store. So
I feel like there's like a flashback that Raven has. You just have this like vision of like yourself, age 8, and you're like at the mall like with your folks, but Bethany has like a little Hello Kitty pad that she's writing down lists of things on. You're just sitting there with
dragging me around the mall.
Yeah, like you have a little like ice cream or whatever, and you're just like looking at her like, wow. So Felicity, you head over to Citrine Kumquat, the froyo place.
Is it like a serve yourself froyo place, or
it's like a pink berry where like they ask you for your order and then they give it to you or whatever.
They like follow you through the toppings and you put every topping on because that's more important than the froyo.
Yeah. There's an African American gentleman. He's definitely younger than you. He looks like he's maybe just finished with high school or like still in high school. He's got very tight shave, but then like the top is sort of like starting to be dreads, or it's like twisted up a little bit. And so he says, "What can I get you, miss?"
What flavors do you have today?
Oh, like new stuff?
Yeah, or like all of them?
He kind of like points behind him. He's like, "So like our menu's right there, but we have this new thing." And he's like, points to another sign that's sort of off to the side. "We're trying caramel out."
No, okay, so here is what I would like. Can you do a little bit of caramel, maybe a little bit of coconut, And can you do a little bit of vanilla?
Yeah, sure. So you're gonna want it like a large?
Yeah.
It's not the worst combo, but it's like borderline heinous.
It's baffling.
Yeah, it's like it could work. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And she doesn't ask for one of those little dividers.
Oh, yeah,
No,
no.
this is all in
you
one
just-
bowl.
Swirls it all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, toppings?
All of them. Thanks.
I was afraid to ask. So he like tries to fit as much as he can on there, and it comes out looking like a absolute mess. Here you go. That'll be $15.
Felicity.
And you see like a lady like who's like working the machines in the back, like she's cleaning one of them, and she like gives him a look, and he like looks back at her and shrugs, and she's just like like gives him a big thumbs up, like, yeah, good job, keep at it.
So Felicity doesn't have a job. So Ghosty has this little hobby where he likes to collect change that he's found on the ground.
Oh, okay.
And he gives it to Felicity to like hold on to. So she has this little pouch that's just filled with quarters.
Loose change.
Oh God, no.
So Felicity is gonna pull out her massive change pouch out of her purse and start counting out $15.
Imagine a lot of it's like dimes or something, because they're like the shiny ones.
Felicity,
it's not
though,
even like it's all in quarters.
Dimes are also the smallest, so they're like the easiest to carry if you're a tiny spirit.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he just kind of looks at you, puzzled, and like he actually laughs a little bit, but then he like quickly like stifles it because he doesn't want to be rude, and he's just like, "I haven't seen you in the mall lately. What's your name?"
Felicity. What's your name?
I'm Jesse. You know what? Let me count that out for you. You should I'll take care of that. So Bethany, you're sort of just waiting for Felicity to get her sweet treat, and you notice that approaching the shop is your sister.
There she is.
Sophia Miller is headed over, and she seems to be what caught Jesse's eye, which is why he was like, I'll take care of this. You go ahead. Because as soon as she comes up to the counter, she doesn't even acknowledge that you're there, Bethany, because like, oof, how embarrassing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so she like puts her hands on the counter. She says, "Hey, Jesse." And he says, "What's going on, Sophia? You here for the usual thing?" And she's like, "Yeah, could I get 2 though? Because my manager really wants one, but he only gave me this 5. And you see Jesse look back, and that lady that was cleaning the machine has gone into the back room. And so he goes and fills 2 things of froyo, like no toppings, but just like fills them, brings them over, takes the 5, and is like, "All right, go, it's fine." And she's like, "You're the best."
Is this like black market froyo? What's the deal?
You're not sure. You're not there, Agent Whitaker. You can dive into this drama when you get there. At that point, Sophia turns around, and this time she actually sees you, Bethany, and just kind of like gives you a look like, "What are you doing here?"
I'm going to describe Sophia Miller for a moment, because I did previously describe them as looking very similar. They all have similar facial features. However, Sophia's style is radically different than Bethany's. Sophia wears her hair in 2 space buns, and she has these graphic earrings. Either they're like candy, or they like have little zodiac signs in the second piercing. And the first one has like little cartoon characters on it. And she has heavy eyeliner, and like from her little space buns, there's little dangling tokens and stuff.
Is she in like overalls, like denim overalls with like a cute tee underneath or something?
Yeah, she's in overalls. She has a tee that has like whatever's the hot anime right now kind of like on, and she like has her little name tag because she clearly works at one of the stores. She and Bethany, like they're appearance wise very similar people, but that ends. The second style begins. But yeah, Bethany can't believe she's like, "Hey Sophia, how's the shifts going? I see you're on break."
Yeah, just for like 15 minutes. So, gotta go.
All right. Well, tell your manager to enjoy the ice cream. And I give her a look like, "You're not bringing that to your manager."
Yeah, and you see that she like doesn't head back to Beach Style Source, which is where she works. She instead heads over to The Edge and just kind of like slips in there really quickly. For our players, The Edge it's Hot Topic. It's it sells T-shirts and music and piercings and keychains and little knickknacks and whatnot. So that's where Sophia winds up going for now.
Is it
at least
modern Hot Topic or is it like early 2000s Hot Topic?
It's modern.
It's approaching. Yeah, it's approaching modern Hot Topic. It is better, unfortunately, and fortunately for some people, depending on your take.
Depending on your taste, it is either very good or very bad. Hugo, when you're ordering your tea, Sydney is still, the cashier, and she says, "Oh, hi, Hugo." Hugo, you and Sydney do karate together, and she's not in the class you guys are in. She's in like the beginner adults class because she did karate when she was a lot younger, quit, and then like came back to it later in life. So she says, "Oh, I didn't know you guys hung out outside of class."
It's a learning experience.
That is a wild response. Oh boy. Okay. Sorry.
I really hope Raven heard that. I wanted her to be just within earshot, and she's like taking a sip, and she just turns like, "Wow, okay."
That's the Hugo response, though. My God.
What a response. Yeah, I think Sydney just laughs. Like she's just like, ha, "Wow, you're funny, Hugo. What can I get you?"
Do you guys still have that? And he looks at the menu. The jackfruit.
Yeah, I think we're phasing it out, but we still have some of it today. Yeah, so she'll put that order in for you. And I hear Raven's gonna start teaching the kids class, so that's pretty cool.
Finally, she's teaching it.
I'm trying to get Vienna to join up.
Hmm?
Vienna is her younger sister.
She's hesitating, I assume, or?
Yeah, she's kind of doing the same thing I did, where like she doesn't want to do it, but
I'm pretty sure that with Raven teaching it, it's going to be different. In the good way, but different.
I'll let her know. I mean, she thinks Raven is cool, I think. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see.
Raven is just within earshot, like completely blushing and facing away from them, being like, "Oh, they think I'm cool." She's freaking out. People like her. Completely unknown concept.
Well, I mean, she has like an idea that like the kids in karate look up to her, but like now this is like someone your age saying like, "Oh yeah, they think she's cool," and like agreeing with that sentiment. So yeah, it's very new and different. So you all have your refreshment. Let's get like a quick scene as you guys all reconvene in this little like, it's one of those center areas where they have the fake plants and the mulch. There's just like a bit of green in the central area.
Yeah, I look at Aidan's order. I said, "First time having bubble tea."
And you see her mouth is like filled with like the boba.
Oh.
It's a chewier drink than I was expecting.
Oh, this is so good.
I forgot to tell her.
That's gold. Who cares about the mystery? I want this.
This is more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bethany laughs. I look over at Raven. I'm like, "Still doing tarot?"
It's the best.
I'll argue with that one, but go back to like kind of looking around at everyone's orders, and I look at Felicity's.
Are the spirits also enjoying the froyo, or is
I
it
give
just
them little bites. I try to hide it, though. I do it under the table so no one yells at me because they told me to keep them in check. And
Yep.
I feel like Raven noticed this, but sees that she's trying really hard to keep it subtle, and so she's not gonna say anything. But she sees it. She's like,
Yeah.
"Aw."
she'll just
She's
like,
a flake.
you know,
She
like
sees
those little
everything.
they're kind of like bobas, but they have like the juice inside.
Mm.
Yep.
Pop
Interesting
'em.
boba.
Yeah. That's Tom's favorite. So
Aw.
she keeps giving it to him, and every time he pops some, he jumps a little bit. He's like, "Woo! Juice!"
Oh my god,
Yeah.
this content is so fucking good. Inject this directly into my veins.
I love how we're just
It must be
playing
so
social
big.
situations. We're like,
I love it.
lonely.
I look at Hugo's order. What'd you get, bud?
Yeah, what did Hugo end up with?
You got the jackfruit one, right?
Oh, jackfruit, right.
Is that like a thing you can actually get? I didn't know jackfruit was like fruity that you could.
No, it's not. That's the fun
Okay.
part.
I didn't think you could make it into like a flavor that you could put in tea.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a
Only
real
in our
thing?
balls.
Yeah, you totally can.
Oh my god.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I've only ever seen people like eat it.
Yeah, no, I've seen it as like flavors places, but
Tastes like.
it's certainly an odd choice. It's very Hugo to order that. I feel like
Right,
Hugo,
yeah.
wherever he goes, looks for the thing on the menu that's not going to be around for much longer and orders that because it's part of his like gotta document, gotta like
And document these bubble tea flavors for the
Experience.
Oh my god,
Right.
it is a thing.
It's a stress relief tea. That's probably important for Hugo.
Yeah, definitely.
Damien's gonna love bubble tea.
Oh my god.
Do you say this? You have this like realization?
Yep.
We all
Sort
just
of
know in
like-
agreement.
dancing around, doing like it's like when dogs have to pee, except it's like Bethany has to move.
Mhm.
She's not sitting, she's just hovering around our table.
Just pacing.
And create pleasantries, and I was like, I'm gonna be right back. Can I go to a different store while they're eating on the green?
Yeah.
I go to Rose and Clay.
Oh, interesting choice. Okay.
That's how
Do a little pop in so I can get the means to fixing this phone.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
Bethany goes to Rose and Clay, which is a wine and pottery painting little place.
Aw.
Like, you can reserve a spot and like drink wine while you're taught how to paint or make
I
pottery.
love that.
And it is run by Elena Miller, her mom. I don't think a class is going on right now because it's like still the early part of the afternoon.
Yeah, Bethany Miller's mom, I think everyone expects her to look exactly like her daughters, or her daughters look exactly like her. But she has a little framed photo kind of on the wall with like a ceramic frame that she's made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear from looking at them. They kind of look a little like her with their hair and some of their features. They kind of take after their dad, who's this really tall, like freckly, redheaded guy who's like laughing at a picture with his arm around the mom, Elena.
Yep.
And then all like their 4 or 5 daughters, like all together, like crowded looking. I say 4 or 5 because I don't know how many of them were had in this picture at this point, but they're all like crowded in the photo, sort of doing their own thing already. She is a very fancily dressed for being out in the mall, Cuban woman, and she has one of like the biggest smiles as she kind of like talks to people who come in and out. All of the pottery around it is not just like, oh, it's good for like wine and pottery places. It's like very nice. Like it is clearly like something she has worked hard at sculpting and something she's very proud of.
Yeah, I think she's an accomplished ceramicist.
I think it's pothead is the
That is also an acceptable term.
That's what people are saying in the cool spaces. Yeah. But no, she's like, that was probably her major, like sculpture, and she's really good at it. But as a way to like turn that into a business, she's started this like, thing where she just lets suburban moms come in and play around with clay for an hour, and like they make a shitty bowl and send them home.
I think that during the day too, Rose and Clay is more of like a place for kids. It's like class or fun time where they have like pre-made things and the kids like come and
Eat them. Yeah.
It's clear that like even though she seems really invested in the kids, it's clear she's trying to like bring an air of sophistication to the place, because I feel like they could, wine and pottery places can either be really sophisticated or really silly, and she's like keep the sophistication about it that she takes a lot of pride in.
Yeah, I agree.
I just go over to her and I say, "Hey, Mom," and I give her like a little hug. I make sure like no one's around because it's kind of embarrassing to be like, "Hey, Mom, what's up?" I'm here. I was gonna grab the replacement. I know you're working late, so it would probably be after it closed. Can I don't want to pay for it again.
Whose phone are you replacing?
I'm definitely replacing Lydia's phone. I'm like, Lydia's been screaming about it. She says her like 4 million fans aren't gonna like her anymore if she doesn't post in the next 24 hours, and I'm getting kind of worried about her mental health at this point.
She says, yeah, of course. No, you shouldn't have to pay for her phone. She's got to learn to take care of her own stuff. Here. And she just like hands you her like credit card. She's like, just give it back to me when you get home.
Thank you.
Maybe call your dad and ask him to pick up dinner. Is that the only reason you came today?
You know me at malls. I wanted to get some stuff done. Some of my friends are here. The ones I told you about from, you remember Felicity? She's cool. We did preschool together or something.
Okay, yeah. You told me you had some like reconnects happening. That's great.
Yeah.
It's hard to make friends once you graduate, so I'm glad you found some local friends.
Yeah, it's cool. Everybody likes me a lot. Probably the best. Totally, completely.
I'm not surprised.
Everyone's best friend in this group. And I can't wait to call Jamie and tell her about how good I am at making friends and how successful this has been. I gotta go. And I like give her a hug and sprint out.
Yeah, as she's like hug, she does that mom thing where she's like, all right, tell them hi from me.
Lipstick off my face as I run out.
Yeah. Do you head over to screens and things?
Absolutely. I waved to everyone, though. Are Lonnie and Damien actually going to the mall? Are they on their way in?
I think we'll pick up with them as you head towards the tech repair shop. So, Lonnie, you pull into the Summers Crest Mall. You've been here once or twice, obviously with a purpose. Although, I don't know, does Lonnie just hang out in malls sometimes? Or what's his deal?
He thinks it's probably a little... It's probably for, like, a younger crowd. So it really depends on the mall. I will say, before they went over there, Lonnie did stop by his trailer real quick and change into, like, you know, like a short sleeve button up so he doesn't look like a fucking weirdo and wearing a suit in the mall.
Dad.
Okay.
It's not like a Hawaiian shirt. It's
like one of those shirts with like a solid color stripe across the chest and like khakis.
Like he's still wearing his nice pants and it's like just a simple... It's still like way nicer than most people would wear to the mall. It's, you know, it's not a 3-piece suit.
He has a thing where, like, he always needs to be a little dressed up.
Just a little bit. Little bit.
Damien, I imagine you've been to a lot of malls.
Yes.
Thank you.
Damien probably isn't allowed at a lot of malls.
Right.
And at this point, Damien has switched to dark sunglasses, and you saw him really quick, like, Sharpie on the inside, so, like, he really, really can't see through them.
Uh-huh.
Damien, is everything all right?
Yes. I have ambitions now, and I'm trying to stay focused on them. And if I get too distracted, well, it helps me focus for now.
You have to be real honest with me right now. Are we going to get arrested if I take you into that mall?
Oh, no, I mean, I have self-control.
Do you really?
Like, I wouldn't go...
Is that true?
Small bull in a china shop. There would be restraint, or I'd just be so good and there wouldn't be any proof, so we wouldn't have to worry about it.
That doesn't reassure me.
Look,
but all right.
I'd pay for everything. Most people pay for everything. Just don't show me someone who's shoplifting, okay?
I won't display anyone who's shoplifting, no. All right, let's go, I guess.
Once
go
we're out of the van and like at least 20 feet away, Damien's going to say, Lonnie, one thing, now that we're out of the van, and he's going to really quickly drop the shades and go, turn off any recording equipment you have. And his eyes are going to like flash green, and he's going to try to manipulate him.
Okay.
So that's going to be 8 plus 2 for charm. So that's 10 plus hold 3. Hunters can choose whether or not they do. If they do, mark experience.
So what is your roll?
That was a 10.
It was a 10.
Okay. So, Lonnie...
You can choose, though, Lonnie.
I think Emery can choose whether or not it affects Lonnie.
So, Lonnie, just like without thinking, immediately goes to hit the power button on just like his phone. Like it wasn't recording, but it's a recording device. He turns it off.
Right.
And then he freezes and looks over at Damien.
Damien's put the glasses, right back. It was really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to understand that Olivia Eastie gives off a life-draining aura. She's not a demon, but we have to be on guard. And we have to hunt her.
What exactly do you mean, life-draining aura?
We had a moment of honesty.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm clearly starting my own agency. I clearly want to be a non-human in charge of a secret agency that keeps these things on the hush-hush. And it serves my interests for you to know who you're working for and to obviously take down any competing forces and or merge them with my own.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
We like kind of like move back to the car real quick.
I feel like this is just happening in front of the car.
Yeah, it has to happen in front of the car. Damien's not going to have this conversation
around
where
a bunch of
anything with
people.
the Eastie agency can hear it. Like we can walk somewhere quietly. But
oh wow!
You also do have to leave Damien there.
I feel it's important.
He extended out one of those blind sticks.
Yeah. I feel like it's important for anyone who watches this or listens to it in the future to know that the rest of us freaked the F out at that.
Holy shit, dude.
Just a bunch of silent, shocked faces.
Oh, my God.
Man. All right, so, Agent Whitaker.
It is not uncommon for members of the Eastie Agency to be non-human. We employ plenty of fey creatures, various, monstrous individuals. We have always been under the impression that the Eastie family was human. This is very... Damien, this isn't great for everyone involved.
Oh, no, it's terrible. But now that we're working together and you're my partner, we have to...
How do I know you're not lying to me? This isn't another of your tricks or manipulations.
Have you seen any movies or TV shows where the head agent of the organization was actually a life-draining aura? Look, I don't know what she is. I can't be more hopeful than that, but be careful. And I want to hunt her now.
We need more information before we move forward with any sort of hunting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, she is scary. I am not going against her. I am having other agents take care of the work for me. That seems more my style now.
She's so nice. She's one of the nicest in there. Huh. Well, I'll write up a case file for it.
No, don't. We can't.
No, not like in the agency. No, God, no. I'm not a dumbass. No, I'll open some discreet investigations, I suppose.
We'll do it with burner phones. Because she's going to be watching me like a hawk. So she's going to be watching you like a hawk.
All right, well, yeah.
Coincidentally, you can buy cheap prepaid phones at Screens and Things.
Oh, nice. How about that?
Oh.
All right. Wow. with that on my mind, let's go to the mall.
Yeah, and Damien like sort of
Shopping
grabs you by
time.
the elbow.
He what?
Follows behind.
Yeah, because you can't see through your Sharpied out sunglasses.
Yeah, he can like see the ground right in front of his feet, so he's not terrible, but
Yeah.
he horse blinded himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is... I need to get him a little stick or something.
No, he has one.
Yeah, he pulls it out of
okay.
his interdimensional pocket.
Perfect. Did you... Wait, hold on. This has implications.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God. Y'all do look like a couple that's just bickering over nothing at the mall.
Yeah, and at some point, Damien acquired a walking stick. Somehow.
Does it have like the little like yellow tape at the end? Oh my God.
That's bad behavior.
No, a blind person's walking stick.
Someone
They
who's
need
impaired or
that.
blind needs that.
This was before he was, fighting on the side of good.
I'm
Stop
sure
walking around.
it looked like they
I
really
need one of
needed it.
those. Yeah.
Really liked that walking stick. They needed that walking stick.
You just no concept of like what it's for, how it's used. Just I want it. Yeah, so
no.
So you guys go into the mall, and I think Bethany, as you're dealing with getting the phone fixed, we'll deal with that. But like halfway through, I'm gonna have them arrive.
Perfect.
So Bethany, you go to Screens and Things. It's a technology repair and like refurbished electronic device store. It's just one of those like little kiosks actually, because the guy who works there just has his like repair kit, and he's constantly like working on fixing things as people bring them in, and then he has things in little cases that are either old and he fixed them up or were donated.
I walk in, I'm like, hi, I need another screen repair, if that's okay. And I hold up the shattered phone.
Oh, gee. Oh, yeah. Let me
Wow,
take
I
a look
love
at that
him.
there.
Oh God, I hate it.
Harry Hapstead is sort of a slightly portly gentleman with like a big mustache that kind of covers his top lip. He's got round, tiny glasses that he wears. They're probably like reading glasses. And he's in a like checked flannel overshirt and just some like cargo shorts. Oh, this is the same phone you brought in last week.
Yeah, Lydia's gotten into some like new app games, and I think they're just a little bit too intense for her sometimes.
You're gonna want to uninstall that, yeah. This is well, I don't have a lot going on. Do you need it right away?
By the end of the day, that would be lovely. If you could do it now, that would be great. How well do I know Harry Hapstead and is his life outside of this?
I don't think you know much about him.
Okay.
Unless Bethany is the sort to just like wait around while a phone is being fixed and like chat with some random guy.
No, she's absolutely not. She's at the mall. Other things on her list. She went to screen some things first because she knows that's going to take the longest.
But yeah, he says, yeah, no, I don't have a backlog, so I'll just sit down here and take care of your phone for you.
That would be fantastic. Also, I would like to put it on the record, and I hope you write this down in your logs today. That's not my phone. I have several different like otter boxes on my phone, and I hold them up. I would rather break other things like people's hearts. I just wanted that to be clear. When you write that down in the log, please make sure you've copied all of that down.
I don't have a log or anything. I just fix phones, but that's very interesting. I'll make a note of that you're very careful with your phone.
Thank you.
And are clearly, yeah, okay.
So all of a
He's like,
sudden,
listen, he's like, I'm sure you're very responsible, but we have a saying in the repair industry, you know, if it's broke, we fix it. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't have to, be embarrassed about breaking a thing. They don't make technology the way they used to. It's just not. It's very bad these days. You breathe on it weird and the screen cracks. It's terrible. So you're doing the right thing with that there other box.
Yeah. Cool. And I ease out of the conversation.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, feel free to browse. That's fine.
can we have been there? Can we have heard Bethany?
At what part?
At just like at the last couple of things.
Yeah.
Just enough to recognize that it's her voice.
So I think you turn around, Bethany, and you see Agent Whitaker arm in arm with a blind guy you've never seen before.
Yeah, are you the same? Are you the same disguise, or you look different this time?
I think you look different.
The hair's the same because it looks similar to Agent Whitaker's hair, but only like in the way it's styled. Damien's is completely black.
Gotcha.
Agent Whitaker and your husband.
Bethany! And Damien
Thank God,
quickly
he unloops his
grabs his glasses, tucks them in his hair where they disappear, shrinks the pole, it gets tucked in his hair, disappears as well, and he runs over and he makes the Kappa Alpha Theta
I can't make it.
ALPHATHETA Kappa Alpha Theta go! And Bethany, I haven't seen you in forever. How have you been?
I'm like, anxiety over the mall has been shot away. She is just in the moment now. She's excited. She's watching Damien. Why are you at the mall?
Oh, well, we were looking for you actually, and for everyone else, and we were gonna pick up a few things, secret agent things, because that's what I am now.
Are you saying that in the same level of voice?
Just some secret agent things.
Are you a secret agent?
I'm an Eastie agent now.
Is that the organization that Agent Whitaker's a part of?
Yup, I'm just like him now.
That is so Theta of you. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, when are we gonna hang out? I have so much to learn.
You should go shopping with me. We're gonna go to the Cask and Basket. We're just picking out some things probably for our friends, but also I need to get some new stuff at Feelin' 22, and I was really excited about that. So if you want to come with me, we can maybe buy some things. It's just closed, but the buy isn't closed.
That sounds amazing. I am so excited to do that. Let's go right now. And he looks over at Lonnie and then looks back at her real quick. We have to go get some phones really quick, but then let's do all of those things.
Absolutely.
6
I prefer
crappy
flip
phones,
phones.
sir.
So Harry Hempstead just like, wow, that was, it's good seeing friends reunited. Okay, 6 phones. Yeah, let me see what I got. And he puts up like an old Motorola Razr and like a, like a boxy flip phone, and then like a BlackBerry, and like just like all these old, outdated models.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just get a bunch of the flip phones.
Okay.
We can't put this on your card, and Damien grabs out a credit card and swipes it.
Like, do you reach into your like pocket, but like actually you reach into your pocket and pull out the
exactly.
Yeah.
My credit card doesn't necessarily belong to the company, but
they're tracking it.
They
You can't talk
don't
about
track
this now.
my-
Bethany,
my
would you like a credit card? I don't want this
bank
anymore.
account.
It's served its purpose.
I would love a credit card, but my credit score is currently abysmal, so I don't know if I can really apply for another one at the current moment.
I feel like Damien, you try with that card and it like rejects it, and he's like, "Oh, something's wrong with your card, there, friend." And you're like, "Oh, hang on," and you reach into your pocket and pull out like 12 more, and you just keep trying them in the thing until one of them finally goes through. Yep.
Whitaker is just like watching, like the secondhand embarrassment is just like
Herbert. Ka-ding!
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, it was that one. And did you just drop the others? Like
No, he just keeps them in his other hand.
Okay.
And just says, "Well, I guess you can have these, sir," and just toss them for me.
It's very generous of you.
He's like, "Wow, what a colorful individual joining me today in the Summers Crest Mall. Okay, yep, here's all the phones. You just gotta turn them on. They're pre-activated and whatnot."
Thank you very much, sir. Have a wonderful day.
Sir. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. It's a good day to be outside. I try and take advantage of that. So yeah, Bethany, you have you've left the phone there to be fixed. Where do you 3 go next? You then reconnect with the other group.
Yeah. Let's get the gang back together.
Yeah, I'll connect with them.
Let's have a quick little scene with the 4 who are still just sort of enjoying their mall treats, and we'll have you guys come in. What are you guys talking about?
I feel like just because of the 4 of us, I feel like most of us are just sitting in silence, like drinking our tea, and Felicity is just like telling us a wonderful story about something ridiculous and random. And we're all just like,
actually, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other 3 are like not super talkative and like are comfortable with silence. But like Felicity started a story, and we're not gonna stop her. Like it's interesting,
Yeah.
and so we're all just like listening and sipping. And like, oh, wow.
All right, let's get a little bit of this story, Felicity.
Not to put you on the spot.
Ah.
It can literally be
Spit us a
anything.
tale.
I imagine it's one of those. So then I was outside, and then like Ghosty found this really cool rock, and like the story's not going anywhere. She's just talking, and we're all just
I'll tell you what
listening
though.
politely.
Aidan is asking all the right questions to like keep getting it to be more and more detailed. So it's like,
yeah, like we're being sweet about it. We just have nothing else to say.
So yeah, the third rock that Ghosty found me was actually, we were walking. My mom had taken me hiking, and she didn't believe that I had these friends. And so I told Ghosty, I said, "Ghosty, find me a rock." And so Ghosty left, and he found me a rock, and then he brought it back, and I showed it to my mom, and she said, "Honey, we're outside. There's rocks everywhere." And so she still didn't believe me. So then the 4th rock that Ghosty had found for me was we were in a parking lot, and a car drove by, and the car flicked a little pebble up, and then Ghosty caught it in the air. And I've never been so impressed in my entire life.
Do your mom and you go camping a lot?
We used to. We used to go camping a lot, but I think I freaked her out a little bit.
The
okay.
campground down on the river?
Yeah, that one.
It's a good one. Nice.
She said she didn't appreciate me talking to the trees, and I told her they'd talk back, but she didn't want to hear it.
I can understand her not really believing, thinking you're like imagining things. But like, I don't know, do you have like a hard time at home with her?
No, we just don't talk much, and that's okay. Well, I talk much.
I feel like there's been several times throughout these stories where Raven like almost chokes on her tea. She's like taking a sip and then Felicity says something really weird. She's like,
Yeah.
oh wow. Yeah. Mhm.
And like Aidan started out asking questions that were sort of just like yes anding, but now she's like she's like picked up on this thing. Like once Felicity started talking about her mom, she's like, yeah, it must have been hard growing up and having nobody understand what you were going through. I can, yeah.
Yeah, well, the one person who understood is the most important one. They're all I need, and that's Ghosty.
Oh my gosh.
So at least I have him. And now you guys think it's right?
I nod approvingly at Ghosty. Yeah.
Aidan like
We're
puts
cool.
down her drink and she like comes over next to you, Felicity. I want you to know I believe you. Everything you're saying, 100%. We all do.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the first time.
And Aidan has to take a minute. She's like, oh, I'm gonna.
Me too, Aidan, me too.
And she just does like
I
a
like
lap.
the accent.
She does like a lap around the like the ficus like planter thing, and comes back and she's like, oh good. Wow, this stuff. What was it? Triple something?
Is it spicy? Is
You
that
wanna-
why you're crying?
It's just so delicious.
I've never had. You should finish it. And she like hands it to you because like I was
Thanks.
you to drink
Felicity is gonna like take it and cover the top of the straw with her thumb so that it traps some of the liquid inside. Take it out and put it on her froyo. Yeah, it's melted a little bit, so she just mixes it in, and she's like, "It's like a smoothie now."
Jesus Christ!
A coconut vanilla fruit
Caramel?
tea smoothie.
Caramel! You can't forget the caramel.
Oh my god, the caramel.
I feel like at
too.
this point, Raven has started looking around desperately to like change the subject, and is like, "Oh, is that Agent Whitaker and some guy
Yes.
talking to Bethany?"
Well, it seems I've caught you all in a very emotional moment.
Oh, it's so good to see you all again, Raven.
Oh,
I'm starting a blog. I've decided you've got to tell me all about yours. Hugo,
Oh, shit.
tell me about those Eskrima sticks. When are you going to teach me how to bop people? Felicity, how are Tom and Ghosty doing?
They're doing so good. I gave Hugo a rock. Would you like one too? I know you would.
I would love nothing more than a rock.
Go see. Go.
Ghosty goes and does one of his little rock quests.
Yeah.
did he just grab one out of like the fake planters?
Yeah, he probably
Right
like
next-
he probably just goes like burrowing around amongst
He
like
picks
the
the good
plastic
one.
mulch. Like, yeah.
But it's pretty
And
thick.
I will take the rock and I hand it straight to Damien.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
I'm going to have to
Hey.
tell you the story about all the rocks that Ghosty has brought me to. Ask
Ooh,
them.
it's a
It was
good one.
very great.
Aidan steps in between the two of you.
Aidan.
Hello, Damien. And then she gives you a look, Agent Whitaker, like, why is he back? And she's got like
Everybody?
she's doing like the hand thing on Felicity, like, you shouldn't talk to him, like
Raven
Whitaker
awkwardly
lets out a
drinks her
long
drink.
sigh and ignores Aiden's look.
just straight up blows her off.
Well, she just looked at him, and he just looks at her, and then turns to the rest of the group and says,
Yep.
I'm glad you're all here right now.
I do like the idea of Aidan
Hey.
staring down Whitaker like,
Oh, look,
Yeah.
a bird.
He like
oh.
Oh, look, literally anything else.
Oh, look,
I
a change of
don't want
subject.
to talk about it.
So she side-eyes Damien, like gets out of the way again, sits down. She's just like, what are you doing here then?
A couple of things. First and foremost, since I have all of you here together, have you told anyone?
Are you kidding? Of course not.
Hugo's going to put his chin on his hands.
I told the tree.
That
That's
doesn't count.
probably
It's okay.
fine. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that's probably
Go
fine.
out on a limb because it's a tree.
Thank you, Felicity. It was unintentional, but I'm glad it had a resonating effect.
The jokes match the shirt.
Raven starts into her tea again.
Yeah.
Whitaker
really hard
gives
not to laugh.
Hugo a long, long stare.
Looking casual, Agent Whitaker. This is a change from your
Thank you,
From your
Miss
suit?
Oh my God.
Eugenia.
Looking cash. Wow.
Does anyone else have anything to say about my fashion choices?
I think it's great.
They're solid.
Thank you, Miss Felicity.
They are solid.
She's starting to do that like little dance just quietly again, like where she shuffles her feet slightly, because she's like, so much more I have planned to do for the day. Like,
Bethany,
We were here for a
I
reason. We
need
should
you
get going.
to help me with some clothing shopping because I'm going to need some civilian gear for blending in.
Yeah, because now that Agent Whitaker has casual clothes, you also are going to need casual clothes, Damien.
Damien, we do need to get you a proper agency suit at some point, too. I'm not actually very familiar with this mall. Is there, like, an Indochino or something in here?
there's the fancy sir. It is a fancy suit store.
It sounds ready-made.
Um,
Whitaker's eyes narrow.
I will assure you that the fancy sir, as Natalie and I have decided, it is not ready-made. It is a very personal store.
It's very
Ooh.
fancy.
I shall
Sir
hold
in
my
it.
tongue.
The Fancy Sir is just like such a good name for a suit shop.
The fancy sir's original name was my favorite name. What it
Oh,
used to
right.
be called.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a secret that you'll have to figure out or...
Greatest Secret of Autumn Falls is what the fancy sir used to be called.
Listen, maybe this is an American thing, but that's a horrible name for a suit shop. Maybe there's some cultural thing that I'm just not picking up here, but it's really quite horrid.
Aidan gets up. Don't judge a book by its cover, Agent Whitaker. And goes over and like, she says as she passes Damien, I'm sorry I was rude.
Sorry, too. I could be nicer.
This is weird. She looks over at Hugo. Oh, we're gonna get stuff for our apartments?
Stuff for our apartments. Are we the best people to go and find stuff for our apartments?
No, definitely not.
Bethany pulls out her notebook. It is a bright pink. It is actually the Hello Kitty notebook that, or at least the exact same copy that Raven remembers from those.
This is nice more.
Other papers like clipped in. It seems that she's adding other things. She's documenting a lot in there, and she slams down the table.
Oh, okay.
The way this setup works, the best thing we do is we go to the basket and cask first, which will have all of our furniture needs, and then we go shopping for clothes. At the end, we end with the suit stuff so that anything that you buy from there doesn't get wrinkles, because then you have to steam the shit out of it, and it's not okay.
Miss Miller, you are a strategic genius.
I had to help run Rush for 3 years. I know how to fucking go to a mall. I grab Raven's hand, I grab Hugo's hand, I start dragging them towards the basket and cask.
Raven grabs Aidan's hand.
So we're all just quickly shuffled along by team leader Bethany.
I know
And
Damien
then-
will follow, because he'll follow anybody if they're doing something cool.
Oh, well, if there's all this hand grabbing, then Damien would end up falling down the line and just instinctively grabbing Aidan's hand without thinking about it.
We're all just in a
Yeah,
line.
Oh no.
I think...
Skip it.
Cute.
For Aidan.
Or he'd try to grab her hand nonchalantly like everyone else was doing.
Make a dexterity check.
Yeah,
Make a will saving throw. Oof.
we need to decide on lore in this moment, and by we, I mean me, the keeper.
Is it gonna hurt?
Is it gonna
Our show
hurt?
is
Is it
Aidan.
gonna hurt?
I don't know.
I just imagine like an electric shock.
It's
A
like Cloak and
small
Dagger.
bubble of antimatter appears with her hands
Yeah,
clasped.
a black hole appears in the center of the mall.
The balls just explode.
That's
I
this
think
session's plot.
I
Like
think
when
what
lithium
happens-
meets water.
I think
Oh.
what happens is, right, Bethany grabs Raven and Hugo. And Raven kind of instinctively is like, nope, Aidan, please come with me. And Aidan is just kind of like, yeah, okay, we're going. And that's when Damien, like, goes to take Aidan's hand. And Agent Whitaker, your eyes are just like, and the moment, like, slows down. And you're like, oh! There's a little bit of, like, a static shock between their hands. And that's it.
Sparks were flying that day that they touched hands.
She does double back in Damien. And it's just kind of like, like it's like she's like holding someone's hand she really doesn't want to hold, but she is.
Is Lonnie within grabbing distance for Damien to reach out and grab Lonnie's hand?
He can certainly try.
Can't forget about Felicity.
I think what happens is
I was like, Felicity's just like
yeah.
Hugo, grab Felicity's hand.
Hugo's gonna grab Felicity.
Yay!
God.
I feel like Agent Whitaker's his hand is like just out of reach, but that shouldn't stop you.
Whole line back.
He's gonna stretch a little bit.
His hand stretches just enough, and grabs the hand and pulls them all off.
Whitaker retches violently.
Oh my god.
Look, there was politics affecting the people I grabbed the hands of. One of them is Hugo. Hugo notoriously thinks everything is not fun. Raven, uninterested in most things. Also, probably
We
reluctant.
just established we're not friends.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of instinct of them going to the mall together and Bethany dragging Raven along.
It was totally a force of habit thing, and now you're like thinking about
So
it
many
as you're like
memories.
briskly walking like, oh god, I grabbed her hand, oh god, oh god, oh god.
There's 2 seconds of them holding hands, and then Bethany just kind of like releases it and like.
I think everyone a few seconds into the handhold walk just kind of like
Realizes how weird it is.
Except Felicity.
except Felicity.
Felicity.
Felicity's holding on to Hugo.
Yeah.
Felicity doing the thing where she's like swinging their hands happily. Completely oblivious.
Oh, I love
Hugo's
it.
Just going with it.
So
Raven just awkwardly wipes her hands on her pants because she's sweaty and like crosses her arms because she doesn't know what to do with them.
yeah, you don't have your drink anymore. It's finished, so you just have like tossed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you all, in this incredible moment of beautiful social awkwardness, make your way over to Cask and Basket, which is the home goods store.
We immediately grab 2 carts.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
here on a mission.
So do
And
you?
Damien is pushing one of the carts.
I think
Damien gets his
Damien
own cart.
gets his own cart. Yeah, like I think our consultants give a cart to Hugo and Aidan, and so they're like in charge of pushing their cart around. But Damien, you grab your own cart for sure.
Bethany sees Damien grab his own cart, and she points to the mom pushing a child in like the little seat part of the cart. So she wants him to sit in the cart.
I think what happens is, Damien, you see that, you look around, and you push the cart around to like a pillar, and like what comes around the other side is a kid, Damien, like pushing the cart.
Oh no.
Someone's gotta help him into the seat.
Just looking expectantly now, like, put me in the seat. It was your idea.
Grab him and I put him in the seat.
So yeah, we have little Damien in the cart.
I'll push little Damien. I look at Hugo and Aidan and I say, first stop, candles.
There's definitely a candle section.
Yeah, it's
I
got
came
everything.
towards the candle section where they're probably just hit by aromas. And immediately Bethany's like stacking 10 candles for each person, like, you have to think about which scent is yours. And she goes in this like very like philosophical discussion.
Yeah, I think at first one of the employees comes over and she's this woman with like, she's just got like kind of dirty blonde hair. It's poofed up a little bit, so it's like she's using a lot of hairspray or whatever. But she comes over. Oh, hello. Can I help you find anything? And this is like while you're going into detail on candles, Bethany.
I'm making a scent profile.
She's like, I understand. I'll leave it be. She turns around and goes back. Aidan is like looking at the names of the candles, and she says, What does midnight smell like?
Give it a sniff and find out.
I go over to Aidan. Look, Aidan and Hugo. I pull Hugo into this conversation. There's 2 things to keep in mind when you're buying candles, and when you're buying any interior decorating, but especially anything that smells. You're playing to 2 audiences, and you have to decide which one wins out in your heart. You're either buying candles that for you smell the best, or you're buying candles for the person that you want to come over to your house more. You pick the candle that attracts yourself or attracts the person or people that you would like to hang out with more. Because if your house smells nice, people want to go over there. So midnight, oftentimes, and I take a sip like, it's got a lavender vibe. And if you want to put your guests to sleep, by all means, I don't think you do, because your house is already boring, and you need something exciting that's going to spice it all up, you know?
Aidan looks a little bit like deer in headlights, And she's just like kind of nodding like, oh, wow, okay. And she like puts it back sheepishly and like...
Raven had a midnight one in her hands and was smelling it like, this is one of my favorites. And she hears that and just like puts it back on the shelf. And it's like,
yeah, there's like a
maybe
moment
it's
where
not
like
one of my
there's
favorites.
a moment where neither of you see it, but you're both putting the candle back on the shelf at the exact same time. But yeah, so she looks around. She's like, is there one that...
Whitaker is listening and just like mildly to Bethany as this is happening, and he, with his deft agent hands, takes a mahogany and teakwood smelling candle and puts it in Hugo's basket.
Raven finds a white candle that has a dumb cheesy name like Angel Wings and hands it to Aidan.
What does it smell like?
That's a vanilla one.
Vanilla and clean laundry.
Yeah, it's like a vanilla chai candle. It's like the most basic thing.
Yeah, completely as a joke. Just hands it to her, like, oh, Aidan, I think you'll really like this one. And then just kind of like walks away.
She like does smell it. She's like, huh. And like shrugs and like kind of puts it in the cart. Like, I don't know.
Felicity picks up the frosted vanilla cupcake candle.
Yep.
And she's like, I ran out of my last one, so might as well restock.
Aidan smiles and she says, you can put it in my cart.
Okay. Pops it in. She starts counting her change.
And Aidan is just like, no, don't worry about it. I got it.
I pick out a candle for Hugo and a handle for Aidan because I'm like, you need to have maybe a candle for each room. For Hugo, I do pick out a sandalwood one. I'm like, this is a good scent. It never is too overwhelming as long as you don't like put it everywhere. Don't put it in the bathroom. Put it somewhere with a little more space. And for Aidan, yeah, I pick out a rosewood set. I'm like, this is one of my favorite candles. This is like the one I like to smell because it makes me feel the most calm and relaxed, and it's not too overpowering or too like intrusive. So it'd be nice for like the entryway, and then for the bathroom, you can do like more of a exciting smell.
She like holds it for a second. She looks at you and she says, is that what we're going for? Like a relaxing thing? Like what I find relaxing?
Considering we came in and there was a broken mirror, I think that relaxing might be really good for you.
Yeah, okay. Do they? And she like just scans the shelf, unable to decipher candle scents because, even people, it's like their name.
It's a lot.
Stuff. Yeah, and she's just like, is there one that, do you know how it smells like right after it rains?
Petrichor, I think that's what it's called. That's a very common smell, and Bethany's like weird mom scent, and suburban mom scent. Just reaches up and grabs one and puts it in the cart. It's probably called like Lakeside or something really nice.
And she like takes it and she's like, that's the one. You're really good at this.
I realized that it's probably not a skill in comparison to like magic or having a blog or being a secret agent, but it's it's what I spend my time doing when I just kind of want to chill out for a moment. It's nice to just kind of go in and think about the fact that and Bethany for a second gets super far away. All of these candles are either really great or super disgusting, but there's somebody out there that likes that candle enough to make it and genuinely likes that smell. And I really like to think about the people who probably buy that smell and get really, really excited about their house smelling that way or get excited about someone else they like smelling that. And Bethany has her own, or she has Damien's cart and she puts candles of her own in the cart as she's talking of various labels, one of them being the roasted one, obviously, being the midnight one, and one of them just being a separate random general vanilla scent. And it's good to burn them for different times when you're feeling, just when you're missing different people or when you want different people to come over. Just but that's nothing. We should go on to fairy lights because everyone needs fairy lights.
While we're doing that, Hugo's going to quickly go into his cart, take the candles that Bethany and Agent Whitaker put in there, and replace them with the air freshener variants.
Hugo probably has a very particular relationship with candles.
Do I notice this?
Do you?
I think
you're probably busy with Damien, who's got a lighter and is just really trying to light the candles because candles are always seen lit.
Tiny
I-
baby Damien.
I take the lighter away before any shop person notices my child, or essentially what looks
Playing with a lighter.
playing with lighter. I'm like, Damien, if you look like a child, you cannot have a lighter.
It's definitely what a child would have done.
You want to see fairy lights?
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
So Aidan is pushing her cart alongside yours as you go over to the lights, and she says, "You know, it's okay to just be yourself. I know that's cliche to say, but it's true. Humans are really amazing. And if you're good at this thing, then that's great. You're good at it."
Bethany looks at her, and for a moment she looks really sad. She's like, "Yeah, my sister Jamie said like the same thing to me, but it's like only kind of cool to be good at what you're good at when what you're good at is like law or magic. But thanks. I'll keep that in mind for when I have a career in smelling pills." And like it's there, she's like trying to be nice, but she's like not super into it.
Yeah, she's so beating herself up that she like can't take the compliment or the encouragement or whatever.
She looks at it and she's like, "Oh, or when I have a degree in being bad at friends."
Yeah,
You said that to Raven?
No,
I said it to Aidan.
But I think Raven is right there, and Aidan just
Yeah.
kind of is like frozen, and she looks at you. She's like, "I think I'm losing my touch," and just kind of like puts her
Raven's
head
just,
down
like,
and like pushes the
About
cart.
to put something in the cart. She's been like in the area just gathering like cute little planters with like succulents or like a cute candle holder for the candles she's getting, and goes to put them in the cart, and it's just like, what did I do?
Yeah, they're just both just like in shock.
It just like puts the stuff in the cart like, I thought these were cute. You don't have to get them.
I like them. They're nice. I think plants. That'd be nice. That'd be good to have.
You seem like a plant person. They've got like a little section with real plants. Fake plants are okay, but I feel like you are responsible enough to keep plants alive. We'll get you some more plants.
I can help with plants.
Go, tell me more.
All right, so there's this one plant that I really, really love with like my whole heart, and I want one so badly, but I can never find one anywhere, and it's called a monstera, and it lets the sunlight through its leaves to go down to the bottom, and then it grows up because it grows in the bottom of the jungle, and it doesn't get a lot of sun, and it wants to help the little plants that are underneath it, so its leaves come apart when the sun comes to let the sunlight through, and I just think that's really helpful, and I want one.
I love monsteras so much. Like in real life, I have one, and it's my child. They're very pretty.
Nice.
We'll get you one.
Go ahead and roll. I don't know.
Investigate a mystery.
Roll to investigate this mystery.
Yeah. 10.
Nice.
So as you're saying, and I really want one, you guys come to this section, and there's like a little display of like tiny monstera plants, and Aidan just kind of smiles. She's like, "Let's get some."
Let's get some.
Raven's buying one too.
They put a bunch of these little planters into Aidan's cart. So her cart is now starting to look like the garden section of Home Depot, basically.
I want you guys to know that I only know that because after leaving the house that we saw today, I was like, I need to research some house plants.
Does this store have like kitchen appliances at all? Is that something they'd have, or is it just furniture decoration stuff?
No, it's a range, it's like Bed Bath & Beyond or, Crate and Barrel, which is why it's named what it is.
Whitaker leans over to Hugo and he says, "Do you own a kettle?"
Like what kind of kettle? You mean like
a tea kettle
kettle
for boiling water?
Kind of. It's less a kettle, more of just like a cook-in teapot. It's weird.
It's good enough.
I
And
got
he
off a
turns and
wish.
leaves. My worry was, of course, that Hugo has just been putting mugs of water into the microwave.
Yes.
I think that is the case. I think, Hugo has a ceramic kettle, and like he's been putting the tea and the water in that and then microwaving it.
He has a water thing that he uses technically for heating up miniatures so that he can mold them easier.
You can't drink out of that. You can't drink out of it if you put your miniatures in it.
It's gotten me this far.
Oh my god.
So, Agent Whitaker, there is displays on cold press coffee systems. There's Keurigs. There's, other types of espresso machines and, Yeah, there's a lot here.
Let's just start with a basic electric kettle for when you have to make tea. All right? You're going to have one for your miniatures and one for your tea. Actually, you go tea or coffee, man?
Mostly tea.
Nice.
Espresso when needed, but generally tea.
Same here. Yeah, Whitaker picks out like a nice, sleek, like electric kettle. When you'd fill with water, flip the little switch on, and that will get you through most any day. Do not put your miniatures in there, please.
I will
or
try
so
not
help
to.
me. You're a master of mystic arts. Do not tell me you're putting.
I am a master of nothing. I am so far from being a master of anything, it's laughable.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the humbleness. Still, my point still stands.
Question. You seem to know about things. What do you know about life-draining aura creatures?
Oh, that's a good question.
Says a small 5-year-old child in a basket of a shopping cart.
I've seen this movie before. Oh, geez.
What do you know about life-draining auras?
Damien's normal voice is a tiny child. Hey, Hugo.
Mr. Hugo, sir, what do you know about life-draining auras?
Well, you see, Sonny.
What kind of creatures have them?
Hugo, go ahead and investigate a mystery, I guess.
Let's do that. 9.
You get one question.
What creatures do I know of with life-draining auras?
I guess the question you would ask is, what sort of creature is it?
Doesn't Damien also have a life-draining aura?
Yep.
He has that ability, yes.
Yeah. All right, continue.
Yep, you're right. What sort of creature is that makes the most sense?
Yeah. And so you just kind of flip through your like catalog of like what you've known, what you've researched, and life drain is a pretty pervasive, I would say, magical ability that a lot of monsters have. And like having sort of like, especially with Aidan's like discussion back when you were back at the apartment looking at that scroll, and she like explained, no, monsters are like demons make them, and then they kind of just let them loose. So it makes sense that like Damien is a demon, he has life drain, things made by demons probably have the same thing. It just seems to be this pretty common ability that some monsters have. You know, in classic folklore, there are, you know, there's zombies, quote unquote, from China that have a life drain. There are vampires of Transylvania. I mean, you can offer up a bunch of answers, but like it's impossible to pin it down without actually like seeing the monster itself.
So he's gonna go off and list just various concepts and such, but then he's going to go on a weird tirade about Diablo.
Diablo the video game or Diablo the like
Diablo the video
Diablo the circus prop, absolutely. Really hate circus.
and the circus prop.
Yep.
Horrible experiences he had trying to balance. He fell. It was not good.
Amazing.
And to be clear, this is not an ability that a magic learner could learn as a human, right?
No.
It's not like you could not learn to do this as a spell. I honestly don't really know how it works, but you could not learn to do this.
Do you want to see?
Anyone can learn to do. I'm good.
I
am good.
You would know, Hugo, that it's not I mean, at least not in your what
It's
you've
not
been
a
taught.
common thing.
It's not a spell that humans know or can perform. It seems to be something like inherently tied to like demonic sources and like that flavor of magic. Whereas like human magic, again, draws on that like nature source of power. This lack of life, this sucking of that life energy away obviously comes from the place apart.
Necromancers are a myth.
Well, that's a little reassuring, but only a little.
Thanks, Hugo.
You have this discussion while you're like discussing like silverware. Like, you know, you just, I think someone, either Whitaker or maybe Bethany in the background, are like holding up like forks next to each other, being like, this one.
That's a salad fork.
Yeah. I think once you're done with the plants, Raven and Felicity and Aidan, where do you go next?
I would like to find some scented pine cones.
Like the potpourri stuff?
Yes.
That just like is a random assortment of natural materials that smells nice?
Yes.
Okay, and Aidan is kind of like, oh, well, we got the candles. I like that idea better, though, actually. Yeah, let's go So they'll go off and
It
like
brings
look
a
at.
little bit of the outside inside. That's what I always
God.
say.
Raven gestures to the cart full of plants.
Yeah, we love fake scented pine cones, just like outside.
Mm-hmm. And I think as you're like going to that area of the store where it's like coffee table decor, you pass by some like hanging tapestries. There's like one with like a moose on it, and like it's like those things where it's like you can custom print a picture onto like a rug and hang it on your wall, basically. And there's one up there that's just sort of like a valley, and it has like a bit of a sky above it. And as Aidan is like pushing the cart and talking to you, she glances at it and then like stops and looks at it for a second, and she's just like stuck there.
You like it?
Yeah, it just reminded me
Of what?
the garden.
Oh.
I have a garden. If you want to come and see it sometime. They're really not that rare.
She smiles and takes a sec to shake herself out of that headspace. I would love to see your garden, Felicity. I'm sure it's beautiful.
Can Raven see if they make like a smaller version in like a little print? So not like the giant tapestry, but maybe just find her like a little framed version and like slip it in the cart?
I think what you find is like a blanket version to like put over the couch.
That's perfect. That's exactly what she wants. And she'll just kind of like slip it in the cart. So like Aidan can see her do it, but she's like, you're getting this.
And she like sees it, looks at you and just smiles. Thanks. So yeah, you guys continue to go look at potpourri basically for the next 10 minutes. I say we do one more thing with Hugo's apartment and then we'll move on from Cask and Basket.
Casket and Basket.
Where retail goes to die.
It's no clearance stuff.
That's the clearance.
We can afford.
All the plants are just barely clinging to life.
Yeah.
I think I start I pull Hugo through the fairy lights, but then I kind of stop and I look at him. I'm like, Hugo, what exactly do you want your apartment to say about you?
Never really given it much thought.
Why not? It seems like you do a lot of weird magic stuff there. Shouldn't it feel a bit more homey to you?
I spend more time at work than at home. I wouldn't even call it really home so much as a place to stay.
Bethany kind of pauses, and she starts kind of looking through the fairy lights, but she's clearly trying to make conversation, just trying to do something else to avoid weird eye contact. So I know that you're really secretive about this stuff, so you don't have to tell me everything, but I don't say a lot to people. I know I sound like I do, but I don't if it's important. Why did you get into magic? And were you a kid, or were you initiated? What happened? How did you get into doing... We don't have to call it magic if that's weird for you. Fancy science.
Honestly, that's probably something best discussed behind doors as opposed to out in the open.
Okay, well, if it's all right, we don't have to call it magic proper. How did you get into making sushi? How did you get into that hobby? That's really cool. And I kind of walk away a little bit from Whitaker and Damien slightly to imply I'm not trying to get information for them. I'm genuinely trying to buy.
It's okay. Whitaker's eagle-eyeing Damien, waiting to see him try and snag something, so no worries there.
Well, got out of school, got a job, and saw some things that I wasn't supposed to see.
I can tell you don't want to talk about those things, but can I just ask if you're okay?
And he's going to take a very long pause at that one.
I hold up my hand to him, but just in a way of if he needs somebody, he can take it. I can't say I relate to what might have happened or might not, but I'm sorry, and if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here, and I'm not really here for anything else. I've been buying you a bunch of shit, and I point to the fairy lights because I've snuck 3 different rolls of them into his cart, and I also snuck several cute mason jars with little ribbons on the top into his cart. You can put the rocks Felicity gives you in those, actually. I think that'd actually give them a really nice touch. If you want to decoupage them too, my mother, she's really crafty.
Deco what?
Decoupage. It's like glue and fancy paper, and it's like a cute little craft day thing.
And he is thoroughly going, what?
Yeah, you've lost our train. It's completely left the station.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I called you a nerd, because you're clearly a nerd, but you're also really cool. And if
that's growth.
It's prohibiting you from talking to me about stuff that's probably shitty to talk to people who are studying magic about, except maybe Felicity, because she seems to really know and not know what's going on. I'm trying to be better about being like a good friend, and also because if it gets down to it, and if for some reason Raven and I aren't friends again, I would really like to have you on my side and not hers, to really be super transparent about it. Also, thanks for the butterfly garden. And after this really long apology, she takes like 6 more mason jars and puts them in your cart. You can keep food in here. It's a reusable situation instead of doing Ziploc bags.
Bethany, I will tell you more things on a few conditions.
I'm really going to have to hear those conditions first, buddy.
Well, firstly, you and Raven need to talk. Secondly, you need to accept the fact that you're a nerd too.
I would love to hear your explanation for this, besides the fact that I'm clearly crazy intelligent. But continue. What's your third condition?
Oh, we'll get to the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth later. Those first 2 you have to deal with.
Okay, look, sometimes when I'm really bored, I go and I reread all of the Jane Austen books, and I just think about how the classism has persisted to this day and how we still haven't really faced it, and how there's still a really big implication and expectation for women, you know, from the age of 18 through 25 to get married and to have husbands in heterosexual relationships. But I don't think that's nerdy. I think that's just an extremely normal thing to do. I also collect Beanie Babies, but I think that that's also extremely normal because we all sometimes have like a coping mechanism, especially when we're going through things like...
And at that point, the rest of the group shows up.
Which Beanie Babies do you have, though?
Yeah, she tells you she's got the 9 original ones. She looks really embarrassed about this, but she like kind of pulls you aside a little bit, Felicity. She's like, I have Legs the Frog, I have Squealer, I have Spot, I have Flash, Chocolate, Patty, Brownie. I'm still looking for Pinchers, and I just don't know where he is at this point, but like, you can't make this weird, okay? It's a very small hobby. The girls in Theta did it too, and they kind of like got me back into it. It's like a weird thing. And she looks at Hugo and she's like, and yes, sometimes in the dead of night I've played Magic the Gathering, but you do real magic, so I think one of us is nerdier than the other, and it's you. I swear it's you.
Bethany, do you know what I really hate, though?
Yeah, let me know. What's is it something completely normal and not related to Beanie Babies?
No, it's entirely related to Beanie Babies. Those new stupid ones with the big sparkly eyes. They're the worst. And the ones that aren't even soft, they have glitter for fur. Like, why would
take them? How do you mush them into your second grade pull-down desk?
That's what I'm saying.
And sparkly and hard eyes. How do you do that?
Disgusting.
I mean, I don't care. It's just Beanie Babies.
You start to get just like a little bit more flustered than like normal Bethany flustered. And Aidan stops pushing her cart, comes over, and like stands between both Felicity and Bethany, and she says, "You're here with a bunch of friends. I think it's cool that we're learning about your hobbies." And that puts you at ease. You're feeling this like pressure, right, as like leader of the mall trip, right, to like perform or whatever. And when Aidan says, "You're here with friends," at 1, you can tell she really means that. And 2, you start to believe it a little bit.
Do I ever recognize this magic? Like, because she's done it to me before. Have I started to like pick up a correlation between Aidan and feeling like getting calmed down?
Yeah, but it's not that she's like calming you down. It's like her aura that she emits sort of acts as like a reassuring presence. So it's not that like she's gonna get you to stop feeling the way you're feeling, but like her being there puts you at ease. It like gets you to like stop your brain from running at a million miles a second long enough to be like, okay, I didn't look at it that way. All right, yes. If you're suspicious of it at all or whatever, feel free to react.
My turn. And his eyes go green.
Oh, they go green for a second before fucking Whitaker. You see this British man hitting a child.
Slap a child in the middle of cask and basket.
No, that's
Raven's
not
just
okay.
looking around like, did anyone see that? We have to cover for him.
Okay, everybody. First, I point to Aidan. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, but you must smoke a lot of weed. And then I look at Damien. Okay, look, child, this was really funny, but you also used to be hot and now you're a kid. I don't really know what's the vibe. So just turn back into an adult person when you can.
He turns into an old man that he saw leaving the mall at the beginning, pushing the cart.
Still in the cart,
Yeah,
though?
beautiful.
No, I think he melts out of the leg holes and then...
And I look at Felicity and I'm like, I see you got a lot of plants. That's very successful. I'm very proud of you. Interior decorating is at least a 7 out of 10.
Yes, thank you. They're monsters. I've always wanted them.
So you guys go to check out after this strange encounter in the home
It's
store.
one of these cards.
Oh
no.
Okay, Grandpa. Thank you.
No problem.
So Damien pays for Bethany's stuff. Aidan takes out her wallet and pays for the things that she's buying. Aidan's card is one of those like black cards.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Agent Whitaker gives it a long look.
Mm-hmm.
Who just swipes a debit card?
Hey there, adventurers. Isn't it nice seeing our heroes treat themselves? I think they deserve to have nice things. And you know, you deserve to treat yourself too. Might I suggest you give our sponsor Red Bark Crafting a gander this week? If you're in the mood for something handmade to accessorize with. At Red Bark Crafting, they believe you should fly your fandom banners proudly. They aim to find the perfect fit for your personality with their wide array of modern and vintage fabrics, upcycled clothing, and practical reusables such as bags and masks. Red Bark Crafting offers a wide array of in-stock and custom options so you can find the perfect garment or accessory themed around a fandom you love. Visit redbarkcrafts.com for more information and wear your passions on your sleeve. Did you all like the new music track? Alright, settle down, because if that got you excited, you're not going to be able to handle this amazing set of musical themes we've had made for the show. And we'll be adding those to the episodes as they are finished to really punch up the emotions in our story. If you're getting emotionally invested in our characters and enjoying the Storyteller Squad, we'd love it if you subscribed to the show and left us a review on your favorite podcast platform. We're available on several platforms now, so tell your friends about us, and they can listen wherever is convenient for them. We're able to grow thanks to your support and help in spreading the word. So get out there, adventurers, and tell our tale. Except don't really do that. Just share the show with some people who you think might like it. We'll handle telling our tale. You guys head out. I mean, they bought enough stuff. Do you think it was like that was the end of the trip, or do you guys want to keep exploring the mall? Like,
Damien and I gotta go to.
I'm doing whatever. This is your episode to shop. Oh yeah, you need clothes.
I think we're good with housewares. We can move on to clothes.
All right.
If we leave, we're like 10 feet away from it. I look at my bag. I'm like, bought the wrong candle. I bought this stupid midnight candle. And I hand her. I'm like, you can just take it. I'm too awkward to return it. Damien, we should go to Field 22.
All of a sudden, you see a 22-year-old.
Just gotta stop doing that in public. Dude, you gotta go in the bathroom or something. They're gonna have
I think he probably does.
Actually, do you, Damien?
Do you?
Yeah, Damien would have the forethought to walk his old man self behind a corner, and then come waltzing around the back the other side.
I love the idea of just his old man self going around one of those ficus things and being like, ah! And fall, but when he stands up it's a young guy.
And he looks suspiciously like one of the models on the Feelin' 22 posters outside.
One of those shirtless models that they always have where you're like, why do you have that?
Yeah.
You're selling clothes. Why are they wearing nothing?
It's one of those things where the model is like so attractive, but the clothes are not actually that interesting, and you're like, that's how they're getting me every time.
Every time.
And it's funny because Damien changes his black hairstyle to match Bethany's.
Ooh.
You got that long curly hair?
It's fun.
Yep.
Kind of a surfer look on Damien.
So you guys head in there. Lonnie, do you wait, or do you like go to check out Fancy Sir on your own first?
You got a whole Raven too.
That's true. You could have that conversation.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think Feelin' 22 is really Raven's style.
Nah, she was gonna go in there, but she's not going to shop. She was going to, if everyone was going in.
Then Agent Whitaker does go in because he does need to keep an eye on Damien in such a tenuous set of circumstances.
Yeah.
But like he looks like a dad whose kid is probably running loose somewhere within there, right? And he's gonna hang back with Miss Eugenia to ask.
Raven's
her a few
like
questions.
looking at stuff, but in the way of like she's not actually interested in any of it. She just doesn't want to look like a weirdo just standing there in the store. So she's just like walking slowly, just like looking at things and putting them back.
It's like running her hand over racks of like basic clothes. Yeah.
Just so she can carry on a conversation.
Miss Eugenia, I know this isn't exactly an ideal location, but if at any point you wanted to discuss my proposal that I had emailed you about.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. So here's fine. We don't have to get into details, but you were offering me a job?
Your blog and your work with the supernatural community, whether you've realized it or not, is very thorough and very interesting to the East Agency, which means you already have some of the qualifications required to become an agent. And my thoughts on the matter are, if you've already seen some monsters and things from the other side, it may benefit you to not only learn more, but to acquire the skills necessary to deal with those things should you see them again. If that is something you would be interested in.
It's definitely something I can think about. I don't know if I necessarily want to dive right into being an agent for an organization I only learned about like a week ago.
Of course.
So,
do take your time.
Do you guys have like an internship program I could join?
Actually, yes. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is incredibly boring.
Oh.
I was able to skip right over it, but it's a lot of going through many public statements of supernatural things and just kind of filing them and going to follow up on them. But most of them are made by people who were high on LSD. So it's incredibly boring.
Sounds like a lot of what I've already dealt with the blog. I have no idea how much of that is real.
Which is why you would probably be able to move right through it if you wanted to get into Asian work.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really big decision. I don't think I'm in a position to decide on anything as of yet. I really appreciate the offer. Like, it's huge, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
Are good. It comes with dental.
Oh, wow. It's better than the diner, at least. Get paid minimum wage there.
Lonnie's the one British person you've seen whose teeth aren't fucked up, so you can tell that's probably true.
I feel like he's one of the few British people she's ever met.
Oh, no.
She grew up in this town and went to the community college. She doesn't get out much.
Absolutely no shade to any British listeners. Obsession with teeth beauty is a really weird American thing, and the rest of the world doesn't really follow it, and they're better off for it. Anyway.
But yeah, I think we can keep in touch. Maybe I'll check out that internship program. If I could do that like part-time instead of diving in as an agent.
And I will need and he pulls out like a little folded piece of paper, your written consent that you will not share any of the information concerning the recent situations. And once you sign that, you'll get your blog back.
Cool. Hand it over. She's just like leaning on one of those display tables, pushes some jeans aside, like signs it, hands it back.
Does she read it at all?
I think she skims it. Yeah, she wants to know what it says. Is there anything sketchy about it, or is it just like don't tell anyone what you saw. And
It's very thorough. It's very thorough.
Mhm.
Like, maybe a little restrictive. Like, it's restrictive in a way it's like, well, I don't know how they're going to enforce that. So it's like, can't really even make mention of it, but it's like...
I think it's also vague on, like, the details should you not uphold the agreement also.
Yeah. Overall, it's not inherently suspicious. If any of you have ever worked on a company project that makes you sign an NDA so you can't talk about what you're working on, it's a lot like that.
All right. It's like, don't tell anyone. We have no way of knowing if you tell anyone, but don't do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Yeah, so she'll read it over, sign it, hand it back. Maybe shake his hand. She doesn't really know. She's like, it'll be cool working with you in the future. Like, because almost goes for a handshake, and I'm like,
he's also not sure, but like eventually,
yeah, they shake hands. But then they're both just still standing there, and she's like, we should probably catch up with the others, you know?
Yeah, no, and it's like in his head, he's going, this looks really weird, because he's like just this, you know, like 45-year-old man who's been
Raven's so aware of that.
Something around the store.
Yeah, just shaking hands like normal people.
I'm gonna go make sure Damien isn't stealing lingerie.
Oh God, yeah, you should go.
Meanwhile, Damien and Bethany are stealing lingerie.
Yeah. Well, Damien like looks at all the models who are like pretty much shirtless. Is like, oh, this is a unbutton your shirt store, and he starts.
I quickly grab his shirt and start buttoning it back up like he's like 5, and I'm just like, no.
Oh, honey.
It's cooler to have clothes on at this store, Damien. It's
right,
like,
just trying to fit in. It seemed like the look.
Hey, Damien.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you want to fit in a lot. That actually, it's really good of you. But it's actually cooler if you keep your clothes on at the store. That's the secret they don't tell you. But I want you to be in on it with me. You want to keep your clothes on because that's what all the people in the know kind of do. You know, that's why my shirt's still on.
It's true. I shouldn't get distracted by the fake pictures when there's clearly real people around doing what I should be doing.
Whitaker's like taking notes on how well Bethany handles the situation.
Yeah.
You know Bethany, she camp counselor for 3 or 4 years. Yep. She's dealt with like 10-year-olds.
So yeah, what are we getting here? What can I help you with?
I'm afraid I've lied to you. I made it seem like I had something important to do, and oftentimes I do. But see all these clothes here? They're not worth anything. There's one section of this store that is gold. And I grab Damien by the wrist and I lead him to the clearance section. Feelin' 22 is a store that has mostly normal clothes, but has some buck wild options, and nobody buys them. So you want to go to the clearance section, grab some weird shit, and try it on. You don't want to go for the normal clothes. We're not here to look basic. We gotta look good. And I grab him some gold leather pants, and I hold him out. I'm like, this is the look. This is it.
So what I want to have happen is Agent Whitaker, after you have your little exchange with Raven, and you're kind of just like, yeah, we're gonna browse again. You're on the lookout, and you're looking around, and you're like, ugh, there's Damien. And he's wearing like a fluffy coat with like the sheepskin fur lining thing, but it's cropped, right? And then underneath that, it's like a mesh bodysuit, clearly, because the neon pink mesh goes from like the exposed midriff down the legs, and then like the shorts are these silver stretch shorts, basically, but there's got like 8 half-slung belts on them. And boots. They're like rain boots, honestly. They look like just like fancy rain boots. And the hair is no longer Bethany's. It's flipped over to the side with like half shaved and like kind of
my hair right now.
Kind of just like it's Claire's hair. It's just like a rainbow of color down the side, and you're like,
he's rocking it.
It's like someone hit the random button on their Soul Calibur character.
Yeah, and
a reference you didn't know Whitaker could make.
Right,
he did.
And the person who you say that to, as you come up behind them, turns around, and it's not Damien. And they say to you, "No one asked you, old man." And they have a little tag on their thing that shows clearly they work here.
Thought you were someone else.
They say, "You look lost," and just walks away from you. and kind of finds Bethany and Damien over in the clearance section, like picking up things and holding them. And he says,
so like, awkwardness aside, Whitaker actually looks like there's like this moment where there's like this genuine like something deeper, like a deeper sense of loss in the situation.
So this person walks over to Bethany and Damien, and they say, "Are you finding everything you need?"
I want everything you're wearing. Do you sell it here?
They're like, "I'm original, but we can make you original too."
Bethany, in this moment, she walks out. She is in a fur coat, but it is somehow puff-sleeved.
Mhm.
She's in a crop top that has those like leather fringes all over it, and she is in shorts that are like cut out in the butt, but like they have like a spandex layer underneath, so her butt's covered. She's not like has like a weird spandex layer underneath it. Get away from us, peasant! We are doing peak well without your interruptions. And she looks over at you, Raven, and she's like, Birdie, get in on this. And she throws you a feather top hat that's like the most dumb, ugly, slim, shitty feather top hat.
Yeah, and so this employee of the store just like sees that entrance, gives you a once up and down, and is like, nope. And just turns back to Damien, just like, see that? We're not going there. Come with me. And they pull you inside the change room area. Yeah, this is for everyone. This is Devin Harris.
They're so cool.
Devin Harris is my new
that makes
fave.
fun of us.
Yeah, Devin Harris is 16, non-binary, and doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Hell yeah. Raven puts on the hat, by the way. Completely expressionless, puts it on, and just continues to search through the clearance section because she does agree with Bethany. The best stuff is in the clearance section.
Mm-hmm.
She would not be caught dead buying the normal stuff at that store, but she's found a couple weird things.
So Devin takes you back, Damien, and they pull stuff off the rack, and they don't even, like, say anything about it. They just take it off the rack, hand it to you, and they're like, go put that on. Like it's an order. So when Damien comes out, do you want to describe your outfit? I'll let you come up with it, Anders.
Oh, well, see, when you first did Devin's outfit, I thought you were describing Damien, and every step of the way was so perfect, and I was so on board. I was like, this is perfect. I'm so excited for this. And that scene was amazing. Could you give Damien an outfit?
Of course, yeah. So what Devin has handed Damien, and like, and they come out first, right? They appear first and kind of gesture at like where Damien is going to come from, and they look at you, Bethany, and they're like, observe, and they like clap their hands. And Damien does like the like swing open of the changing room door, leg out first, because he's on platform sneakers. Tucked into them are galaxy leggings that then like come up, and over the top of them are a pair of lime green booty shorts. And like as the rest of him comes out, he kind of just like leans on the door, and it's a shirt made of plastic. Like it's see-through plastic where like the buttons and everything are like strips of denim, but the rest of it is just like a cellophane.
Oh my god, I love this so much.
Yeah, and over the top of his like shoulders is like a sweater that's just tied in a knot and sitting there.
Just a normal sweater.
Just a normal gray sweater.
Question. In the time have Hugo and Felicity come into the clearance section, have they kind of slowly traversed in?
We'll get to that, but yeah, so, and then Damien just reaches behind his head into the pocket, and what he pulls out is a pair of 2008 New Year's glasses and puts them on his face.
I was fully expecting shutter shades.
Nope. Not Damien. And at that...
It's like the 2008.
Yes, exactly. And so Devin does a double take, and it's just like... girl, and like does
You
like
know
a,
it.
I love them.
does like a heel turn, and they're like, my work here is done, and they just kind of go back to like folding things on the tables and whatnot.
Raven politely claps.
If Hugo and Felicity and Aidan are here, I look at them sharply like, clap, you must apply.
Yeah.
Felicity was
inside.
already clapping.
Yeah.
Damien also claps.
He sees everyone else doing it. He's like, gotta get
Yeah.
in.
And also at this point, like, you see Damien like striking a pose, and while he's doing that, Aidan just like comes around the corner, and she's in like some skinny jeans and like a red t-shirt with like a gray like cardigan. It's just like normal. It's like she went and bought all the normal stuff.
Aidan,
Raven
you
clap.
have to.
She has like a little like
Yeah,
beanie,
then-
like, you know, her like infinity scarf on, and she's just like, I like this place.
I reach into the clearance section to pull out an accessory for each person because I really want to do this. I give Hugo a clip-on nose ring that has like parrot feathers hanging off of it. I'm like, this is a good look. And I want to give Felicity a mesh shirt with Dwayne The Rock Johnson's face on it. Because we like rocks. Oh, I'm losing my shit. And then I want to toss Aidan a pin that says my other car is a broom, and I'm like, I know you don't have a car, maybe, and you also aren't a witch, but I thought it was funny.
She laughs. She's like, it is funny. So I think that finishes our purchases and experience here at Feelin' 22.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Did Damien buy the
Agent
outfit?
Whitaker is dying.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God.
Whitaker has gone outside to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Hugo is standing right next to him. Mm.
Is he wearing the
Hugo
nose
looks over
ring?
at Hugo like,
He is
I
not
fucking
wearing the nose
hate
ring.
American cigarettes.
Damien walks out much taller with the platforms. Yeah, these American cigarettes are the worst.
Did you buy the hat, Raven?
I don't think so. I think she wore it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Bethany wasn't looking, she knows she probably gave it to her as a joke, like puts it down, and I think she maybe found like a funky sweater or something.
Felicity 100% bought the shirt because it was on clearance for only $2 and she had that much in change.
And nickels.
And, yeah. And she was just really excited that somebody thought of her to pick something out for her.
Oh.
So she needed it.
Yep.
It's a memory now.
Mm. It's got emotional value, if not
yeah,
fashion
my
value.
measure of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Is it like his face is done in like sequins where like you can do that like flip it up and down?
It has to flip up into a different celebrity.
I thought it flipped up, and it's just like kind of mottled gray because it's just like the outline and it's a rock.
It's just
It's just a rock.
stupid idea.
Oh, so good.
And you flip it back down and it's still rock.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so mall trips.
This is my comfort episode.
Yeah. I was like,
We
oh man.
needed this.
Oh, he
This is
did.
my emotional support
Hugo did buy the
session.
nose ring. He's not wearing it, but he did buy it.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Probably because it was like on clearance for like 75 cents or something. Nobody wanted it.
He's like,
Yay.
Bethany
"This
will
will
think it's
make
because he
Bethany
likes her and he
happy."
thinks she's cool. Bethany will think it's because he wants to be her friend. She will interpret only that way.
Do you guys want to go somewhere else? Is there some other place you feel you got to hit as part of this trip?
Need to get Damien a suit.
You do.
But I don't know if I want to anymore.
That could
We
also
could just
be
have another mall trip some other time.
Maybe we'll just
getting him a
While
suit could
we're
also be
here-
a montage.
montage of the suit scene.
I mean, I don't want to. Claire and I spent a bunch of time on this mall.
Oh, let's do
You
it.
don't have to explore every store today, but we won't montage anything. You gotta meet all of these people that we just
Oh, hell yeah.
That we
created.
slaved over the personalities and lifestyles of and all their connections.
All the secret tea that's going on with Sophia that like we just were like, no one's ever gonna know about this, but it was important to us in the moment.
Yep. It's all there. You just gotta dig for it. Like little
When-
nuggets of gold in the silt of storytelling games.
Yeah, Sophia's actually the big bad, guys. Come on.
Do you want to do suits?
Is everyone going to the suit place?
I think I have an idea for how to end, but I think there's time for one more adventure.
Well, suit for Mr. Edgecrest and Miss Eugenia, perhaps if I can't convince you with the wonderful dental benefits, Perhaps I can convince you with the finest tailored suit you've ever worn.
We all hear this.
Do you?
Is Whitaker being very upfront about, like, I'm offering Raven a job and maybe she'll...
I don't think he has any reason to hide it.
I would agree.
Yeah, if we're just discussing it while walking towards the suit store.
Yeah.
But also Raven is like, I don't know if you understand that I work part-time at a diner making minimum wage. I can't afford a custom tailored suit.
Oh, it's on the Eastie agency.
But I don't even work there.
I don't think you realize. I can buy whatever suits I please.
If you say so, I'll go try some stuff on.
Nothing binding about wearing a suit. There's nothing binding about it. Just see how you feel.
All right. What the hell? Let's do it.
Aidan comes up besides Raven and, like, gives you a little nudge. I think you look good in a suit. Can I try one on?
God, Raven can't handle all these people being nice to her.
Yeah, come with.
He's just, like, blushing hard.
He's, like, looking at Raven, sort of, like, taking note of, like, her skin tone, her hair color. He's like, we'll get you a charcoal gray, I think. Not black, because it'll make your skin look a little too pasty, but a charcoal gray.
Raven looks down at her outfit that is entirely all black, gets a little self-conscious.
Maybe a flannel weave, so it's got a bit of texture without having any sort of ostentatious patterns.
All right.
I look over. First I look at Raven, and I'm like, you're getting hired? And then I kind of look at Hugo and Felicity. I'm like, you guys, you can do suits. I'm not feeling suits. We could go to miscellany or somewhere else.
Wanted to go there so bad!
Yeah,
kind of hang out.
Guy. I am not a suit guy.
We're not really
suit
people.
Mr. Rashad.
You'd look great in a suit, Hugo.
Particularly a forest green.
Ooh.
I think a forest green would look very good on you.
Aidan is like, yeah, maybe with, like, some herringbone.
Oh, that's good.
And
that's good.
she like looks at Lonnie like, I'm on your level. Like, I know.
Yeah. see, he looks at her for a second, and he's like, what on earth would look good on you? And he's like doing, like, the calculations in his head, but something's not clicking. He's like, you're very hard to place.
I get that a lot.
Huh. Well, we'll see what the atelier has to say.
You guys head off to the Fancy Sir, which I want to end on. So we'll do miscellany real quick right now with the other three of you.
Raven looks very quickly, longingly at them going to miscellany because she really wanted to go too.
Hi, Raven!
But she's really...
Miss Eugenia, you can do whatever you want. I don't want to pull your arm on anything.
She's convinced on the suits, but she looks like, oh, man.
Here's the thing, right? You've been to miscellany. You go there all the time. Like, it's not like you're missing out by not going today.
She just wanted to...
Yeah.
She loves that store. But yeah,
When
she'll
was
go
the
to the
last
suit
time
place.
you had a chance to enter the Fancy Sir?
Right, you've never been there. So
Yeah, she's never been inside.
As you walk away, I look over at you, and I'm like, I'll tell him you said hi. I'll find you something cool. And I give you, like, a little peace sign. Just, like, a little.
Thanks.
Yeah, so when you guys get to miscellany, it immediately smells like coffee when you get in there. And, like, some sort of sugared sweet pastry that's being baked in, like, a back room. There's a small case with, like, muffins and croissants and things, like, near the cashier at the front. And then past that are the aisles of, like, books and magazines and whatnot. And then, like, the front where the glass pane of the storefront is where they have all these, like, clothes. But it's all thrifted stuff. So things that are, like, donated. There's no, like, consistent style to it or anything like that. And there's actually a loft section. So, like, once you go in, you can take some stairs up to the second floor area where there's more books and, like, a little reading area and things like that. And on at least at the, like, the front area is a younger looking guy. And he's actually on his phone. He's got very thick but, like, well-trimmed beard, just sort of, like, gelled hair. I don't want to say he's, like, a little overweight, but he's not muscular either. He's just kind of, like, bigger.
Dad bod.
A little, yeah. But it's like college dad bod, like those guys who are just like, they actually are just thicker bones than other people.
Yes.
It's like mesomorph or whatever those, like, different body scales are. But yeah, so he's just, like, watching some video on his phone, and he's wearing like a it's like a Monster Energy shirt.
Hello!
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Welcome to Miscellany. Here for the food, the clothes, the books.
I would like 1 coffee, please.
Coming right up. So he starts to make you your coffee, and like as he's doing it around, he's like, anything for you two?
I'm here for the books.
Gotcha. Right upstairs. And he calls and he says, Mira, you got one coming. And from like this couch that's like up against the railing, this like head pops up, and there is this like intensely freckled girl. She's got, it's almost like Felicity's hair. It's just a little less tightly curled, but it's a deeper auburn. She just pops up very excitedly. Oh boy. You see her like go to the upstairs part of like the thing and do that like slide down the ladder and like do a little skip hop at the bottom. And she says, welcome to Miscellany. What can I get you?
Out of character question, how old is she?
She is like 23.
I think Felicity might be in love.
Ship it.
I love it.
Yes, Felicity. Get it. Wait,
yeah.
is this something that we can discernibly see on Felicity's face?
Yeah, what is Felicity doing? She's just like,
I'm ready.
Like real big. Yeah.
I look over and I nudge Felicity like, she's got so many interests in books.
I love books.
Hugo and I, we can handle it. We talk about books amongst ourselves, but Felicity, she's got some questions.
Mira like rushes over. Oh my gosh, I love books too. Come on, I'll show you. And
Let's
she
go!
like spins around and they like rush upstairs to the upstairs book section. And she's got like a little cart that's like on wheels with like some books on the bottom. It's for like when they need to put things away after someone has like taken a book, flipped through it and set it down somewhere it shouldn't be or whatever. And so she just starts like drilling you for information. She's like, what's your favorite series?
Tell me everything about all of the books that you like.
Yeah, and so she's like, oh my gosh, I'm reading this other novel over here, and she like just like starts taking things down and flipping through them. And
That's
she's
what
like,
I intended.
She's showing you like the chapter pictures in some of them. She's just like, I know like a lot of books don't have pictures because it's like, you're not supposed to have pictures of books anymore, but look at this one. She's like showing you like little like illustrations in black and white on like a paperback novel for the chapter top. She's just super excited to see you and talk about books.
Sweet. I am gonna ask her if she has any books on supernatural things.
Okay. What are Ghosty and Tom doing?
I think they're downstairs. Is it just clothes that they sell used?
Yeah, there's used books too.
Okay.
It's sort of a thrift everything and coffee shop. So like the books are all donated, the clothes are donated.
Cool.
They have some things that they order for the books, but it's just like whatever's popular at the time so they can like turn a profit.
I think they're trying to get a croissant.
Like steal one from the thing?
Yeah, they don't see it as like they just want to eat one. They're not like trying to take
Yeah.
it. Like they just want to eat it. So they've never had a croissant before. They're trying to get a croissant. They've left me alone for a little while.
Gotcha. I like it. Yeah. So you say like books on supernatural, and she's like, oh yeah, look right over here. And she like takes you to like the fiction section and just starts like pulling off a few suggestions. She's like, this one's called Song of the Ocean, or whatever. It's just like all fantasy book names. And she takes one down and she says, oh, I really like this one. And it's like a book of like Irish folktales. And she hands that to you. I just like learning about where I come from, And her eyes like are bright green, and you notice that for the first time.
That's me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think at this point, like Ghosty and Tom arrive, and they have a croissant that they're carrying between the two of them.
Perfect teamwork.
Yeah, they scurry over and just like plop down at your feet, and they're like nibbling on the croissant. And you see her eyes just do a quick dart down and back up.
What'd you look at?
Huh? Oh, nothing. Just
Okay.
I like, but your outfit's cute.
Your outfit's cute too.
Mira is in like a paisley, one of those peasant blouses with like the low scoop neck collar, and then it's like all frilled lace on the top. She's like, so yeah, what books are you looking for then? I can set you up.
I do really like this one. the Irish
Mhm.
folklore book that she gave me. I think I want to look into this one a little bit more.
Well, it's nice to meet you. She turns to leave. She says, I told you I was Mira, right?
Felicity, that's me.
Felicity what?
Starnbrook?
Nice to meet you, Felicity Starnbrook. And turns and goes to like putting things on the bookshelf.
I am going to send Ghosty over to try
Okay.
to see if she could catch a little glimpse of him again, just to kind of confirm what I thought that I saw before. If she's fixing books, he's gonna like waddle his way across the top of the bookshelf.
What does he do?
You know what he's gonna do? She's gonna start fixing the books, and then he's gonna mess one up that she had
Like
just
push
fixed.
one off the shelf or whatever?
Yep.
Okay. When he pushes it off, she catches it without looking at it, picks it up, looks, and very quietly she says, all right, little one, let's behave now. Pushes the book into the shelf, which kind of knocks Ghosty off of it. And like,
All right, I'm gonna call him back to me.
Yeah, and he rushes back.
I don't even know what to do now.
Yeah.
Felicity is just shocked. She's not reading her book at all. She's
just standing there in
has
awe,
it
like
open, but like just watching her.
Meanwhile, down at the bottom, the guy with the beard says, coffee's up. Puts that on the thing.
Oh yeah, that.
I sort of look over at Hugo. I was like, as I kind of nudge Felicity towards Mira, there's like a moment when you catch Bethany just kind of looking at them. She looks kind of almost like wistful as they sort of like get like this giddy excitement as they run upstairs together.
Yeah, this like instant connection.
And she's just like, she looks at you, she's like, if you want to start with the books, I can grab the drink for Felicity. Although, like, don't want to bother them in case they're doing some intense romantic book reading. That's stupid. And she grabs the coffee and she like climbs up the ladder with what, like, to like balance it.
Hugo, what are you looking for in miscellany?
Nothing specific. He likes to look through the books that are there to see if there's anything that the library / museum could use.
Okay. When you go into like the back section of the like bookshelves in the first floor, you're looking through things and you pick up old books with like bindings and things. There's this old woman just sitting in a chair in the back writing something. It's like a folded piece of paper. And she says, nothing new since the last time you were here.
To check every now and then. And does he recognize that old woman at all?
Yeah, you know this woman is Granny Jones. You don't know her first name, but because everyone just calls her Granny. But she says, thirsty for knowledge. That's admirable. It'll get you far. Could get you too far.
Always the kidder, Granny. Always the kidder.
That's it. She's just noticing you were here and telling you they don't have anything you'd be interested in. I think that pretty much sums it up. Unless you want to do anything here, Bethany. You going to talk to Doug?
She says hi to Doug. I think that she's got terms. Like, she's okay with Doug. She makes small talk for about, like, 30 seconds total, the way Bethany's, like, very politely does. And then she actually heads to a section that's probably dusty and unused, which is any section on biblical works or religion. But she pulls out any sort of, like, maybe either, like, probably not the Bible as a whole, but anything that's more of, like, an annotation or an annotative kind of edition on the Bible or something that's more of a critique of it. And she starts going through the index. She starts looking up divine beings, and she looks for angels and demons. She starts looking for pictures, depictions, what they've said about them in the past. Both angels and demons. Both things are curious. Beside that, she grabs, like, as she's walking over, she, like, passes through, like, the distant culture section that every, like, bookstore has for some reason. She, like, grabs, like, the Japanese mythology and lore off the and she just, like, puts that, like, takes it over. She starts opening both. She starts doing Cornell notes, which is, like, the notation that you are expected to have throughout all of college. And she's done a lot of late nights, so she's used to this kind of... She knows that Hugo has all the info on, like, Kitstons and stuff, but she starts looking for that. And she starts looking for things like, what was what are angels? Like, she wasn't raised super religious.
Mm-hmm.
She probably sees that picture of like the spinning wheels with all the eyes on them, and she's like, fuck, that's so much cooler than a regular human.
Yeah, you look up and it's it's a text on just like, I actually have this text. It's called Angels and Demons, and it's like it's just a book that goes over like different mythologies and stuff, and it talks about like the seraphim and the principalities and like all the different categories of angels that have been talked about throughout history, and how none of them really sound human at all. They're all like weird amalgamations of beasts, and some of them are just huge wheels with eyes covering them, and yeah. And then when you like look at the demon section, it talks about like, different names for demons and different like religious interpretations for like how many religions actually believe in demons, how many of them see them as like a thing of the past, and like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's like a section on exorcisms that you jot down, and it's like talks about salt being important. Go ahead and roll investigate a mystery.
I think she has a +0 intelligence. I don't think it hinders her. 7, so that's a big success. Yeah, let me see what kind of questions they have. I want to do something along the lines of, what was it going to do? And her intention is finding out in the bluntest sense of if there were to be angels and demons on this earth, especially after meeting people like Damien, who are neutral to her. They seem very neutral in their intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if chaotic, and maybe if like evil, but not evil directly towards human nature, and they don't seem to be tempting her towards anything.
Yeah.
But what is the plan? Like, what is, every text talks about this divine great plan, and she's like, what, I need to know what it is.
So from this text, which has a very Western slant on it, it talks about how the angels' jobs involve things like protecting people as like guardian angels. And then there's like, these angels exist to praise God, right? They talk about like, that's their job. They just sit around praising God all the time. There are other angels where it's like, these are the messengers. They send messengers to God's people, blah, blah, blah. And then there are others where it's like, these angels deal with the ushering of souls into the heavenly kingdom, and then that sort of thing. So it just talks about like basic, Western tenets on what angels are. It doesn't talk about them living on Earth the way Aidan seems to be doing, and it doesn't talk about them just being like people. They're described in some cases as just like the ideas and the thoughts of the divine. Like, they're not actually beings of themselves. They exist for a momentary instant and then are gone. And when it talks about demons, it gets into the whole like Lucifer and his sin of tempting man with the fruit of the tree and all this stuff. And like, it goes into like different demon, like changelings, and talks about like warlocks and witchcraft being a thing. Because again, it's a very Western slant on that sort of thing. I mean, it doesn't talk about slime puddles the way Damien.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that devils are obsessed with getting stuff. It always talks about like wanting to like tempt and take the souls of mankind for their own.
Yeah. Bethany starts, she takes notes. She starts drawing conclusions from all of this.
Okay.
Preemptive hypotheses.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. She has no frame of reference, so she's just sort of writing down what she finds. I think we'll leave it there, like Bethany researching and sort of Felicity being smitten and Hugo just sort of casually glancing around books. We jump back over to our other trio, Whitaker. Actually, it's quartet, because Aidan went with you. You guys walk into the Fancy Sir, and it has a smell of like polished wood and fancy bolts of cloth about it. Right?
You can smell the high thread count.
Yeah. There are some like maid suits that are just sort of like on display, and then there are like suits that are either being worked on or they're on display to show like, this is adjustable. We will tailor this part of the suit for you, blah, blah, blah.
Excellent.
There's drawers that you can pull out that have ties and pocket squares and things in them. There's a rack with like undershirts, like just button-up dress shirts and things. And while the place is called the Fancy Sir, like they have like women's business suits and for men also. And behind the counter is a a guy who has sort of a mild tan. He's a white guy with a tan. He clearly is working to keep it up. And he's got a very tight shaved hair, just a little on top, and so it's not like buzzed shaved, but just like a little. And he's got like an apron and he's like measuring some cloth and like cutting it on the counter when you come in.
Does he react at all to us coming in, or is he pretty focused on his good work?
He doesn't look up, but he does say, "Be with you in a moment." But because he's like doing like a cut, and he doesn't want to like stop in the middle of that.
Legitimate. I start looking around at the different fabrics, trying to like reason in my mind what on earth to put Damien in.
Damien, who has changed now again for like the third time today. He looks like a Feelin' 22 model.
All right, that's a good start.
He's got that like perfectly windswept hair, basically.
It'll have to be some sort of gray, because that's the only thing that looks good with literally anyone.
I mean, Whitaker's suit is black, so there's that. But
I mean, he's got a couple different ones.
Getting defensive with the suits.
Because he doesn't want to look like he's showing up to like a black tie event. If they're dark, they usually have some like tone-on-tone pattern in there. It's like a plaid, but a really subtle plaid because it's just like a slight change in the thread color.
And gray is nice because it's more casual.
The man at the counter looks up. He sees you, Lonnie, and he sees the others like come in, but he pays attention to you because he feels like, what are they doing here? Kids coming with their dad to pick them out like a birthday present, like a new tailored suit. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Looking for a business suit for each of them. Nothing too flashy. Something within a formal business dress code.
He like sets his scissors down, folds his arms, and like puts his hand over his mouth, like looking at the group you've brought in, because you'll recall what Damien is wearing.
Yeah.
And Raven being who she is, and just Aidan looking like the most basic Gap model ever. For all of them, huh?
For all of them, yes.
Okay. Come over here, I'll take your measurements.
Nice.
Aidan doesn't hesitate, she just walks over. So he starts like measuring her like sleeve and her, outside pant seam and stuff.
While Aidan's getting measured, Whitaker is going to bring Damien and Raven, I guess, over to the various ties. There's pretty tight limitations on what sort of colors and patterns you can have for the suit fabric. But for ties, it's a little more open, so feel free to get creative. He sort of pulls out like a dull raspberry for Raven and like holds it up. It's a little more Bethany's color. Puts it back. And he's just kind of going through a couple different patterns, paisleys and things like that. Do you guys have any ideas of what sort of things?
Damien grabs a green one.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs 3 different green ones that he sees.
Yep.
They're all pretty appropriate, yeah.
Raven's looking at like really dark blue and like a burgundy, I don't know, charcoal gray. She's just looking at like the muted colors, pretty dark.
Nothing with the warm tone. I think you rest in cold tones. I think keep it with the blues, the icy grays.
She slowly puts
the
like
cream.
the burgundy one back.
If we're getting a dark color for cream.
Goes for like a really dark blue tinted purple. Holds it up like, eh?
I like it. It's good stuff. He gets her like sort of a complimentary pocket square with it.
Raven was very uncomfortable, and now that she's like picking out tie colors and has a little like squares and stuff, she's kind of like, okay, this is fun.
Next step, and I know Bethany already sort of went over this. You do need a cologne. He brings over some of the sample colognes and stuff like that. And this is like, they're not like those nasty, smelly colognes, right? This is high end. This is like leather and almonds and like the sort of like that dark cherry scent you sometimes get on some of them. And he's just kind of like walking you through different aspects of cologne perfume.
What is Whitaker's scent?
His scent, it is sort of like a leather working scent. And he explains sort of the science of perfumes with this one. The fun part, perfumes are made of like multiple different chemicals. Some of them are lighter molecules, smaller molecules that evaporate really fast. And those are the ones you smell first. That's like the initial scent. And then there are the heavy molecules that make up the undertones. scents of any sort of perfume. And as you wear a perfume for long periods of time, the smell sort of like evolves a bit. So his current one is, on top, it's all like leather tanning sort of stuff. But as it goes down, it gets slightly more bitter, slightly more chocolatey scent. It's a very sultry sort of smell. Yeah,
Nice.
And that's his.
So that's his explanation as you guys are staring at basically clear bottles of liquid.
Imagine that, but in
like,
a British accent.
Yeah, there's no indication via color like what something is going to smell like. You just kind of have to like use little cards and like guess.
Like they have scent notes, but they're all names like number 1, number 2.
Yeah,
number 3.
yeah. Or they're like some Italian name and then a number after that. It's like
yeah.
You finish with that explanation. You turn around to check, and the guy who's like measuring Aidan, you don't know his name, but he's clearly the guy who works here, and Aidan are just like laughing. They're just like, like she's clearly charmed him the way she tends to do. And he says, okay, yeah, who's next?
I don't want anything that smells like brimstone or sulfur.
Mr. Edgecrest, I guarantee you, you will not find that anywhere in this mall.
Okay, good.
Damien, you already have kind of an interesting scent that is always subtly there anyway. It's that like wood smoke, but from a piece of wood that is like wet. So very, very smoky and almost a little briny.
Ooh, we can work with that. He offers a sort of like cedar wood kind of scent to sort of like complements it, but also, it mixes with it. What's Raven's? She more of a citrusy kind of thing? She earthy? She's spicy?
Probably more earthy.
I mean, sandalwood is like the go-to for a good earthy. Sandalwood and rosewood. This one is a little bit more out there. You won't see it in many different colognes, but this one has kind of a frankincense vibe to it. It's a little bitter, like when you smell it. It's a little bitter. It's a little off-putting, but there's something kind of interesting about it. And Lonnie does explain, this is one of those things that on initial scent has kind of a certain ring to it, but as time goes on, it sort of sinks into the skin a little more and it unwraps those sweeter notes.
Raven's very into it. She's like, I am sold.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Frankincense for Raven. Love that.
Just a little bit bitter, like she is.
There's a scent called vetiver. It sounds awesome. It apparently is described as having a candied ginger-like aroma.
Oh my god.
That's kind of cool.
So we'll switch to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a perfume, it can have multiple things. It could be frankincense, and
vetiver.
I think that would be perfect for Raven.
Now we also have to talk about shoes. How are we feeling about shoes?
I think Raven is immediately drawn to like the women's shoes that look like men's dress shoes, like the fancy ones.
Yes.
So they've got like a little bit more of a heel and they're a little more feminine, but they have that like the fancy like scallops and stuff and design on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to wear heels like Olivia Easty wore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
hell
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a very solid choice for you.
Yeah, it's a good agent outfit because you can use the heel as a weapon.
It's not in the code, but yes, I suppose technically you could. Damien's got some heels. Raven's got some mild heels. What else do we need?
I can't decide if Raven's a pantsuit or like pencil skirt kind of person.
What about hats?
If you want a hat, you can have a hat. No fedoras. And that's not an agency thing. That's a me thing. Absolutely not. My God.
Pop quiz. What shoes was Olivia Easty wearing?
I think she had a very sensible pump.
Damien is looking for a very sensible pump.
Perfect.
Good. Yeah, no, it's Olivia Easty, like, she's not looking to trip down the halls of her organization.
Yeah. Well, I think Damien should go next, because he for sure needs a suit.
The guy who, if you ask his name, he says, "Oh, I'm Walt." He says, "My dad's in back. When we start like pulling out suits, I'll have him come out and give me a hand."
Walt, do you have any stretchy material?
We do have some stretch blends. Yeah, you looking to make a suit that stretches? It's not really what we do here. It's sort of a, we want it to fit you and not have to stretch.
Yeah, understandable. I don't always watch my figure. You know, I want to make sure it'll
He's working on
stretch.
gaining some muscle, so when he starts to bulk up, it's like you want to make sure.
Almost subconsciously, Walt puts his hand down on where his belly's not quite trim. Don't I know it? Okay, yeah, we can get you something with a little stretch to it, for sure. So he takes your measurements there, whatever that model's measurements were to Damien's best approximation.
Yeah.
Just writes down Dorito on the sheet.
Absolute wedge. Yeah, and so then, Raven, do you bother getting measured, or is that too much of a commitment?
I think she'll get measured. If Aidan went for it, it's yeah, why not? I might as well get my measurements, if they want to decide on actually buying the suit later, that's fine, but she'll get measured. She's got her ties, she's got her perfume, she's all right, I could get used to this.
He finishes measuring you, he brings out some basic color prints and things for you all to try on, and he'll ask if you'll please try one of the undershirts on, because those are just sized like normal clothes, right? They can tailor them, but most of the time it's not important. Aidan goes and she just grabs a white button-up blouse with a flip over collar to it. It's one of those where it only buttons to a certain point, and then it's all about the neckline. Does Damien get a green undershirt, or
Yeah, we decided the green tie.
Okay. Yep.
If he can get away with a green undershirt too.
No. If you get one of those pale green ones, light, almost like a mint,
a pistachio.
Yeah, like a pistachio. There we go. Yeah.
The light green shirt and the dark green tie.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
Whitaker's into it. What's your choice, Raven?
I think she does. She decides on the purple.
There.
She's still got the dark purple tie she's hanging on to, so she'll probably go for kind of a medium purple shirt, something that's lighter than the tie.
I kind of like the idea for having a very crisp white shirt, and then the purple is a dark pop.
So a really, really light purple then. Maybe not white, just barely lavender shirt.
Very important for Damien. He's going to get himself a black briefcase to carry around. That way when he keeps pulling shit out of nowhere, it's
coming from the case.
In a bookcase.
A little more of a Mary Poppins kind of deal now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Aidan finds herself, because she picked the shirt that doesn't have the high collar, she goes over to this thing of various ascots and scarves.
Ooh, yes.
And so she gets kind of a light coral scarf that she throws on.
Nice.
Raven wants a vest.
Oh, Raven's getting a vest. This is
a vest.
This is not a question.
Yeah, I'm digging the charcoal gray suit matching vest, light purple shirt, dark purple tie.
Whitaker does give you a brief how to tie the tie lesson, and he's like, if I see you doing a 4 in hand, I'm going to slap you into next week. We do full Windsors or half Windsors or nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Raven's never tied a tie before.
Aidan will come over and tie your tie for you, Raven. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
She's going to be YouTubing it later.
Damien does it just like Whitaker.
Whitaker's a full Windsor kind of guy, which I find honestly easier than a 4 in hand. I don't really understand why that's the go-to for everyone. Windsor's simpler, it's symmetrical, and fills out the neck area as opposed to a 4 in hand, which just gets so narrow and it kind of tilts the whole thing to the side. Anyway. Those are Emery opinions on ties. Those are Emery opinions.
There's been a lot of Emery fashion in this episode, and I love it.
A little bit of bleed when it comes to fashion.
Aidan says to you, I trust you to pick the rest of my thing out. You've done a great job with Raven.
Oh, man.
The shoes that she took are a leather strappy sandal with a wedge heel.
All right. I don't know as much about women's clothing, but in terms of colors, for what sort of fabric you're looking for, remind me, what's Aidan's what are her undertones?
She's warm toned, I think, because her hair is sort of that brown with a little flick of red in it. Yeah, she's kind of looking at maybe a light gray.
Light gray's my go-to for anyone I can't place, so that might be really solid.
It's that very basic look, right? Because that's her thing, is she looks like the models in the magazine in a way, or it's just anybody,
Yeah.
But I think she goes for no texture.
No texture, just sort of a solid...
Yeah, a solid tight knit.
Yeah. All right. Pretty good. Anything else she needs help picking out?
I think she like looks over at like the rack. Skirt or slacks?
I think from a purely fashion perspective, skirts are entirely superior, but the mobility of them tends to range depending on how tight they are. For mobility, I'd go with slacks.
Raven is kind of short and is self-conscious of how pencil skirts make her legs look even shorter. So she's gonna go with like skinny pants to try and make her legs look longer.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. What are Aidan's legs like?
Well, Aidan's like 5'8". She's just like average.
God, I wish I was 5'8".
So I guess I'm thinking 5'8" is like average for like human beings. Like
sure.
Like,
Like
she look nice in a skirt.
And she's sort of thinking like, I'm never gonna like wear this. Like she's not even sold on whether she's gonna buy it or not. She's just like wants to dress up. So she puts on like a very board meeting look, I think.
It's a bit secretary on you, but I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly.
I don't like to stand out, really.
Well, in this, you don't stand out perfectly.
What a compliment.
What a compliment. Is Agent Whitaker like dying a little inside? Like, what do you mean you don't want to say anything with your fashion statement?
I hope Aidan takes it as a compliment, though. And it's just like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he does kind of like, he wants clothes that work with the person wearing them, because if he knows in his heart of hearts that if he did try to get Aidan into something a little bolder, it would wear her, you know?
and also on like a slightly less fashion oriented level of thinking, like he probably doesn't want her to stand out either.
It's true.
You know, the less conspicuous she is, the better. Unless you guys have more suit talk you want to go over, I think we're done with that particular scene. Do you buy the suit, Raven?
Eastie family is paying. Yeah. She's gonna like keep confirming a couple more times that she's not paying for it. She just needs to keep making sure, because she cannot afford anything in this store.
Yeah.
She can't even buy herself the perfume. It is too much. Yeah, she'll say yes, she'll go for it.
Okay. I think Aidan will also go for it, but she says like, I would prefer to pay for my own.
Are you sure? This is the fancy sir. It might be a little...
Yeah, because as far as you know, she works at a diner.
Aidan also doesn't have to buy food. I feel like there's a lot of expenses Aidan doesn't have.
I mean, do you ask Aidan, like, are you sure? Like,
he does. He's like, are you sure? Because I can cover this.
And she like fishes into her purse and takes out that black card again. I've had my bank account for a very long time, and hooray for interest rates.
Lonnie just gives her kind of this long look.
Sorry, I guess it might be rude to talk about my age.
Nods again.
Yeah. So she'll pay for her stuff at the very least, if not someone else's, or like maybe she goes to like foot the whole bill, but you're like, no.
Yeah, no, because like here's the thing, like, and this probably becomes pretty clear. It's like he's saying like, yeah, this is totally to entice you guys into the Eastie agency. You know, think of all these all the great bennies you could get from joining.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it's like from the way he talks about how the suit commands a presence and it points, like compositionally points eyes up to your face. He genuinely just loves clothes.
Mm-hmm.
He likes other people being in like nice clothes that make them feel powerful. So yeah, something he doesn't get to share with a lot of people.
Yeah. As they're finishing, as you're leaving, right? Because everyone gets their suits, they pack it up. Walt and his father, Walter, come out. It's Walter Jacoby and then Walt Jr. Jacoby.
God, I love the Jacobys. The Waltz.
I can feel the mahogany radiating off of them.
And when you show like your badge or whatever, right? Because you said like they have like a connection.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. There's like an Eastie agency discount.
Yeah. It's an agency expense.
Mm-hmm. Ah, one of the Easties. Well, always happy to do business for them. So they get your things I guess ordered, right? When you go to a suit store, they like mail the finished thing to you, or you go pick it up afterwards. So.
Oh
Yeah, because they take your measurements and then they have to do the cutting and then you have to pick it up
but
later.
we'll walk out with our shoes and ties and stuff.
Yes.
So as you're like leaving that store, Aidan doesn't pull you aside, but like she addresses you specifically, Agent Whitaker. That was fun. I haven't really spent that much time on fashion for a while. Thanks for walking us through it.
Thank you for humoring me. As much as it was a business venture, been a while since, since I've been able to hang out with people at a mall.
Raven nudges him a little bit and like, you can say friends, it's okay.
He shakes his head. He's like, I just like finding people's suits.
Damien, you got anything to add?
Damien is just enjoying his outfit and he's just upset he doesn't have anything to pay for. So if there's any like tiny stores or vending machines or anything, he just needs to pay for something.
I think like you all kind of reconvene back at where the bubble tea seating area was because it's near the exit. And Damien is like over paying for like a drink. It's like, I don't know, whatever Damien's soda choice is. What is it? Mountain Dew Crush or something like that?
I was gonna say that too.
You go to get the can and you kind of crack it and you're just absentmindedly like, I'm gonna drink this soda. And you bring it up to your lips, you see in like the glass of the vending machine where there are like the cans and snacks and things. You kind of look for a second, you suddenly drop the can as this form comes into focus in the reflective glass. And she says, I didn't think I'd find you hanging around with her. Wrath is staring at you, Damien. And Aidan, who is like with the group, suddenly like looks over at, you standing there with Azazel's form. And she's like, we need to leave. And her voice has like completely changed from how it normally is. It's got this like serious pitch to it. And she actually like grabs Felicity's hand like while this is happening. She's like, we have to get out of here. And Azazel takes a step forward towards you, Damien, but her image leaves the reflection in the vending machine and reappears in the glass of a display case near a store you guys are in front of. And she looks at your group, catches Aidan's eye with hers, and grins and says to you all, so I was right. This is what you've been up to. And she regards some of the humans. I'd be careful with that one. She'll only disappoint you in the end. And Azazel's form shimmers out of the window, and Aidan is like hurting your hand a little bit, Felicity. She's grabbing it so hard, and you hear a scream and some like smoke pouring from like a hallway. And we see from a low angle dark paws that are almost look like they're made of charcoal and are like dripping little bits of black burned material, almost like you'd taken a log you burned and dropped it. Like those little cinders and embers are coming off of this as it comes around the corner. And it is this wolf with like half of its face is kind of burned away to the skull, but like still enough that it's not just like a skull for a face. Its whole body is billowing smoke, and there's like a light in its eyes. It's that glowing cindery ember. As it continues to come out, you see a little like skittering form accompanying it, and it's this kind of small other creature, also black and smoking. The wolf regards all of you and then all the people and gives a long like, and as it finishes that, from its throat, fire starts to spread and emit from its chest and almost burn away its body. And it's this violent, roaring fire that seems trapped and contained within its rib cage as it just stands there, and the smoke continues to peel off it. And bits of its form almost look as if they burn away, and then smoke fills that spot and reforms to fill in the hole that it leaves in its body. And you just hear laughter coming from all around you. And that's where we're going to end.
Whew.
Okay, then.
I had fun going to the mall with y'all vicariously through our characters.
I think we all needed that.
Some good character moments.
Good character moments, good character bonding.
So much bonding.
Yeah.
Bonding over candles.
That's important.
Now the pain will hurt even more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felicity has to save the love of her life.